just wake up in the morning and think, holy shit, I'm gonna be a tumor today.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell played that.
Hello, everybody. It's actually not what I expected that to be.
Maybe we shouldn't hit random soundboard messages just in case it gets a bit spicy up on us.
I didn't.
True. No, okay, look, here's what happened. I kept saying, hey guys, can we switch over? Can we switch over? And Spoon was telling the story, and he kept going like, no, give me a second, hang on, I want to finish the story. And I kept thinking it was finished, so I kept going, ree! And I thought that was it. Look, that picture on the soundboard had a picture of a screaming Pepe, so I assumed it was a ree.
That was, you were basically playing fucking Russian roulette with the stream, good to know.
It really
That's
was.
usually Bill's job.
Yeah, normally I get a couple of weed
everybody.
edibles in me and then I go nuts, but I'm not even on any tonight.
Hello, everybody. I am on a bit of a weed edible and on painkillers because I have been in a lot of pain for the last month or so. With an ongoing, yeah, which is why our streams have been all over the place. I'm gonna try to get back to normal as much as possible, but it's, oh man, this sucks, and I don't want to like belabor it too much, but it just sucks, and it's a lot to deal with. So sorry about the fucking streams being all over the place. However, I'm feeling pretty okay.
You don't
right
know
now, so I'm
this,
happy
but I
with that.
just graced the stream with a
What'd
sound
you do?
clip of Medica laughing.
Oh, did you? How'd you play
Yes.
that?
Because
I didn't
I
hear it.
also exactly.
Oh, you played it through your side? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Just a random burst of smoker cough laughing.
It is.
I
it is
have noticed Medica laughing does do very, very well. It does do very
Oh,
well in
yeah,
videos. Everyone is
he's
always
got a
happy to
great
hear
laugh.
smoke. Yeah, it's very infectious.
Yes.
It's like, oh look,
The cancer man.
if only the laughing can defeat his own cancer.
I know. If only left.
I mean, touch wood. He's...
Yeah, that's true. He's not out yet. It's not out yet. Anyway, guys, yeah, sorry about a bit of the streams being all over the place.
Argy-bargy.
We were not going to do the D&D stream this week anyway because people had some conflicts with times, and then also it's
the epilogue too.
It's the epilogue episode. So, but other than
So
that,
we all just got stoned and watched Caligula.
yeah. But also my new script is done. Again, it's taking way longer than usual. But then I've gone through it and it's done. So now I can start working on it. It's just hard. One of the things that's difficult. Okay, I will.
I'll see myself out.
Not you.
Fine. I
Damn
didn't
burping.
want to play with you anyway.
Just bicarb soda, my friend.
my other friends.
Don't trust big fucking indigestion tablet. All you need is bicarb soda. It'll do the same trick.
I have a horrible burping problem. Like literally anything
Bicarb.
that I consume, I will
Gross.
burp.
You want bicarb, mate?
But I've got a new bloody stomach.
Or maybe you'd stop pouring whiskey into the one you got.
I don't drink that much. Why am I defending this? This is literally
Well, that's
designed
just
to get a
what you
rise out
drink
of me.
is basically petrol.
Yeah. Oh god, that whiskey you recommended to me, that
was that
peaty
one.
thing.
The
one you recommended.
No, the peaty one was
No,
that from
no.
a gift set we got. And
Right,
it tasted
yeah.
like burning tires. Apparently.
God, I'm confused. Yes, the Balcones that's been recommended was fantastic.
Balcones is
Anywho,
like drinking.
sorry.
I like drinking
God.
really syrup. It's great.
I was trying to get like the housekeeping stuff out of the way, which is just Tuesday game is on after next week where we do the epilogue. That's going to be on hiatus. Hopefully these streams will be back on time as usual on Wednesdays at hopefully 7:30. But if I've now after today, I think it's like normally I give myself like 2 to 3 hours. I think now I got to give myself like 5 or 6 to prepare for the stream, just because of the
That
sickness stuff.
also-
And hopefully it'll be better soon. I have
Tuesday nights
appointments next
on the
week.
Rolling in the Isles server will still be Kino Coliseum, which is our
yes.
movie watching night.
Yeah, and if
By the way,
we're not
that
doing
is,
the game, yeah, we watch movies.
That is the problem with drinking good quality whiskey is when you've never had it and you just get a bottle that's not really all that cheap. You go, it's not going to be that great. It doesn't justify the price. And then you drink it and you're like, oh shit, it totally does.
We were rationing up that Balcony.
the
We were
Balcones,
rationing it
we
out
did.
by the cap full.
We did near the end.
still
Yeah.
polish-
Such a
offered
damn
him
good
some-
night's whiskey. It's like, oh.
No, and Bill and I are both sober. Like I probably can't drink ever again after this stuff that's been going on. Like just because
Is
I've
it
been
that
so sick. No, I don't know. I mean, it's
Once you
pretty
have a
bad.
scare about it.
But what? Yeah, when there's any kind of scare with it, you don't want to mess around with it too much. But it just sucks. Like this sucks. I'm always tired, and I'm just hurting all the
Kids
time.
at home,
But
get your drinking
you know,
under control before your
Yeah.
liver tries to clip out your
Well,
fucking torso.
and try to avoid like extreme stress while you do it, because that can exacerbate things. Hey, but I think I'm doing okay. And so and you know what else is making me feel pretty okay? There's some good things happening.
But why would anything good ever happen?
I'm really having a hard time being black-pilled.
You heard it here first, folks. One of the first signs of Armageddon, the seal is broken. We're all
Yes.
fucked.
What that I'm having a hard time being black-pilled.
Isn't someone in the chat asked me Poikin? Isn't Poikin that's like the Irish version of like white dog?
Oh, Pachin.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just pure fucking moonshine. It's like drinking diesel. You can run cars on it. It's also illegal literally everywhere because it's just bathtub moonshine.
It's quite strange to say, hey, look, this is a thing that's illegal and it's basically just high-proof ethanol. Cars can run on it. Would you like to consume it? It's like, should
Well,
I feel like that's not a wise idea.
It kept the country going for God knows what. So
True.
there's an entire song about how basically children would be even stronger if they could drink Pachin.
I mean, that's what the Irish people need. More alcohol.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so Trump admin's doing some good stuff. We did cover, obviously, the
He
sordid
told
affair
NATO
going on
to
with
eat
Elon.
a dick, which is fantastic.
I know.
Said fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, actually, there's been so much stuff, and because we missed last week, I fell behind. Yeah, the Trump NATO thing, I didn't even have that. Find up an article on that, because that was so freaking cool. Yeah.
I can't think of Pachin without wanting to launch into the song, unfortunately.
What?
Oh, the Humours Whiskey. For those you at home, the Humours of Whiskey is a fantastic little shanty.
Oh, by the way, Bill, I have a funny meme for you, or a funny
Your
reply that I think you, I think you would find this amusing.
What is? Oh my god. Okay. You could probably put that on the screen. I don't know.
From Matt Squatch. So, selling the $80 N-word pass on X for more revenue. From Man Squatch Meme Smith, cheaper than becoming black. And the post.
Oh, that was one of those jokes I just laughed my ass off. That was really good.
I'm technically qualified due to my prior purchase from a very shady, like American-based church. I am technically a Pan-African priest, so I can award the pass. But I feel like that takes the sport out of it.
I was born in Africa, so I have that going for me.
I'm so sorry.
I hope they find a cure.
Yeah, if they find. What was it? Oh, what's the meme? It's like, sorry that happened to you, or what was it?
It's like, I'm not reading that. Congratulations, or I'm sorry that happened
to you. Yeah. Anywho, so I actually don't have. We're not entirely starting with the less blackpilling stuff. This part's not on blackpilling. It only is. How should I describe it? Reassuring to me that we were all right, and by that I mean the people who really first proposed this, so like AA and Scrump, that they were going to put the woke away, because we are seeing that more and more precipitously. And
yay! We're gonna have less homosexuals running around the place.
It certainly means that some of the annoying things, yes, will go away, but remember that the power accrued does not. Even if the money gets shifted around, and I'm going to talk about some of the money stuff, because even though the money's getting shifted around, as we always say, there's always 100 more heads to the Hydra. They cut one off, it will go somewhere else. And,
yes. You need to remove the Hydra, not the heads.
You got to dig up the body and cut through the trunk.
Well, I'm again trying not to be blackpilled on that, but that is the problem with it. So my only statement about the putting the woke away stuff is, one, it doesn't mean that that they actually are stopping towards any of their larger goals. It's just that this particular avenue, this one is being put away. It will be something else next. I don't know. We've talked about this before as well. I don't know what the new crisis will be. Throughout every era in modern history, you've seen we have to move to the new thing, whether it's the war on terror,
we're about to audit the federal government, including the Pentagon. So if you're out there and you happen to be one of two towers in a group, I would look after you and your friend just now, because last time this happened, it didn't go so well.
Sure, and I want to believe, sure, that things really will change, but I think that we should have some healthy skepticism and reticence there. However,
So this is a win. We should be hungry for another one. Another one. More. Drag them out into the street.
And just keep paying attention. Don't become complacent. However, I thought we'd start by with some examples.
The way you
of
celebrate your
being put
victory
away.
is by accruing more power.
Yes, is by having more victories. What the heck?
Yes, there's one quote by whatchamacallit, by Molbug that I really like. He said is, every move you make should make your next move easier. Because in the way that any society works is, and Academication pointed out as well, is that there is no such thing as bottom up. Society is always top down, always. I mean, if you look at the shit that the woke believe, that was not organic, that was top down imposed, and yet thousands of people believe that stupid shit, which should tell you that it is not about bottom up power, it is always top down. People follow a magnet. So if you want people to believe the shit that you do, you become the magnet, and then you say, look, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to tell you what to believe, and I'm going to force it down your throat. And if you move, I will take your head off. That's how it works. That's how every society works. You can't play nice with the commies.
2 heads thrown high into the trees have only the wind with which to scheme.
There you go. This is just the reality. People screech about this because they think, oh, look, I'm the exception. I am the libertarian. I want to live in the Shire with the Urukai. No. You kick the shit out of the Urukai, and then you wall them off, and then you basically take aim at snipers at them and say, come closer to our walls, and we'll basically massacre you. That's how any civilization survives.
I would remind you that Farmer Maggot saw off a Nazgul with nothing but a pitchfork and 3 dogs.
Based.
These little paper tigers they are assailing you with are not as dangerous as you think they are. They've got a system, but systems are not as durable as they seem to think they are 9 times in 10.
Shall we get into the examples of the woke being put away?
Yes. Like, God, Ash Sarkar says I'm a communist while also shagging crap load of white men.
She's considered she's on Wikipedia. I looked her up momentarily. Wikipedia has a label as a libertarian.
Sure. She's a libertarian, and so is Vosh. Okay. Sometimes far
Vosh
leftists
is
will
more
call
libertarian
themselves...
than her. I will actually say that, though.
Well,
she's got more facial hair than him.
True. They'll call themselves libertarians because libertarian has a very...
Look at his Ferengi ears.
Goofy, harmless reputation of like, we just want to hang out and smoke weed, man. Like, we just want to, we want to have our guns, but not to like
just
hurt
call
people.
them what it is.
Just defend our weed
drug
plants.
Addicts who like firearms.
Well, that's been a certain type of libertarian. That's and the
Main
left
party,
libertarian.
party,
that's because they want to be able to. The left libertarians also are who calls themselves that. In the U.S., people like Bush, they do so because they want to be able to own guns because they want to be able to kill people who disagree with them. Okay, just to be clear.
I'm not knocking Father Maggot. He's literally my favorite character, and the mental image of him just rocking up to a Nazgul going, "Well, what do we have here?" Which way to the Shire? Back the way you came.
Anywho, Ash Sakar, who is queen of the woke, like one of the most.
What is her opinion on Israel, by the way? Her name is Ash Sucker. For fuck's sake.
I have no idea. She's a leftoid, so she's
pro-Nazi. If that joke is going to go.
Pro-Palestine, anti-Israel. I mean, that's just their. I would assume so. I haven't looked into it, but they all are.
Why isn't there more people that are the pro-base position, which is actually more the Tucker Carlson position, which is just pro-fucking neither?
Well, yeah, that's the sensible.
The Bengali really are a fucked up phenotype. They look like a Romanian in blackface and drag. What? I'm right. Really Why are you booing me? I'm right. Look at that bitch.
What can only be described as quite a spectacular Damascene conversation. Damascene. That's a rare word to see. Ash Sakar of Navarro Media has rejected identity politics and the competing grievances it has given rise to. Can you read for a second? I'm clearly going to have to take an allergy pill.
In an interview with Lewis Goodall of the news agent, Sarkar argued that many have been saying for years that much of the America-brained British left is destroying itself by embracing the politics of racial victimhood. No shit. This includes adopting divisive theories of so-called white privilege, with such toxic ideas spreading through the public, private, and third sector. What the fuck is the third sector? I've never heard of that.
Services industry, I believe.
Okay. I would thought
Unless
they'd
she
be on
means the
private.
media.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused with
So
Yeah,
they're
that.
the
so
fourth
look what-
estate? I don't.
So I mainly know like primary, secondary, tertiary industry.
I don't know what you.
Yeah, no, I was kind of confused with that. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the tertiary is here, but maybe we're all just stupid. Very, very big possibility.
You see, fueled in part by the Black Lives Matter movement, much of this. Why am I switching these weird accents?
Oh god, third sector is the like it's community, voluntary, faith, and equalities. So it's
Ew.
all this scumfuckery.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's like NGOs.
Yeah,
stuff.
NGOs, housing associations, cooperatives, basically commie bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's always left anyway, so that's kind of strange. Let's see. Much of
People
this
who
is
believe in
proved.
housing associations are insane. I'm just saying.
Okay, here we go. Much of this is proved to be a complete distraction if one of the most racially fair societies on earth. I hate that phrase. Society should not be
How about,
racially
how about
fair,
also just
ever.
fuck you, you vile bint. You spent the last 8 years promoting and promulgating this exact racial shit.
What do you expect? Now the shoe's on the other foot. They've been slapping around the fat kid for years, and now the fat kid's picked him up and thrown him into a locker, and now they're going to the teacher.
That's so astonishing to me. Just real quick, it's something my dad told me as a little kid. I brought this up before, where he said the left wakes up every day and presses a button to just erase all memory of everything that happened before. But and the left does do that. Don't get me wrong, but they all fucking do this because there will be people who will listen to this and go, "Base soccer. Oh wow, she became base. She's denouncing this shit. Oh my god, no, it's she's doing this because it will work. It will work on a significant portion of people.
Yeah, because they
this is-
got goldfish fucking
Goldfish
longevity.
memory. Yeah.
Yes, and because they have that stupid Christian Protestant attitude of forgive and forget, and just everyone should hold hands and go about like, no, you forgive, and I will kick you in the shin that you're begging for mercy. If someone is in front of you begging and pleading for mercy, you knee them in the forehead.
Yeah.
You don't say like, no, you will be punished by being removed. Now that we have power, we know for a second you are just begging for mercy because you will in any way get power again, and you will hold the sword to our necks, and you will learn nothing. So the way to solve this problem is to get rid of them.
Well, when has this worked out well in the past? And I'm not.
Ever.
Look, I am not saying that people cannot change. People do.
I am saying that though.
Particularly when they're very young, people do.
Or women.
And by that I mean, well, it's hard for people to change.
For people to change, these creatures would have to change into people first.
Yeah, good
Right,
question.
right, of course. But when you're in your early teens to maybe early 20s, I do think there's a lot of you're really becoming the person you're going to be. Now, there's aspects of your biology and genetics that affect the person you're going to be without your input or
Yes, like
environmental input
melanin.
whatsoever.
It does depend.
So
and
some
it
of
depends on
it's,
what
you know-
kind of chemicals they're shoving into you. Like if you're on a billion SSRIs, you're not going to
Of course.
really recover until you get that shit out of your system.
The point being, there are environmental and genetic factors at work. But whatever, people up until that point,
I think
though,
the genetic factors are way more important.
I'd say, did we talk about
Depends on how
this
it's lean.
was it with Ryan Folk? I don't remember. I think we talked a little bit about the genetics, but I think we've talked about it before. I would say it's at least
How about
60,
Dr.
40,
Dutton?
if not. Dutton would be another one. Actually, I have a bit from Dutton today. The thing that
person you can
got posted the other day.
Match me in phrenology.
Is it the James Lindsay thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I'm still gonna do a video on that because
Oh my
I think he's
God,
trolling
it's
him.
So good. You think?
Okay,
Well, a bunch of
here's
people didn't know if
here's
he
a
was
good rule.
real.
If
That's
Doc-
because
if
they've
Doc-
never met Dutton.
When is Dr. Dutton trolling, his lips are moving.
Yeah, he's constantly trolling. But he's got one of those. The thing is with. I've noticed he and I are similar in the sense that he has the same kind of face and tone almost all the time, so people can't tell when he's taking the piss. I've had people tell me they have a difficult time knowing when I, too, am joking, because I sound the
trust me,
same
it's-
constantly.
It's extremely hard to tell when he's taking the piss or not. It
Ah,
really
good.
it is.
I like that, because I want the same thing, because then I have...
but that's
I
the
can
other
just say I'm
thing
joking
too.
when I'm being serious. And
We
vice
probably need to
versa.
probably talk about this. I'll show it. We'll pause then. This was in our everything else segment, so I'll just pull it up now before we get into this putting the workplace stuff. And goddamn, we got to get on point. Anywho, yeah, I'll just pull it up then. Let's see. I think part of it is that, particularly because Dutton is, an aristocrat essentially, so he
Yes.
has a very posh way of speaking. And I think, particularly to Americans, they have no idea how to react to that. It just
That sounds
sounds so
funny.
intelligent by its very nature. And I think Lindsay is a little bit taken aback. But in my opinion, guys, and I will put up a poll here. And then thank you guys for the super chats. When I do these right now, because then we'll move into the other stuff. So Lamented Guy's been a member for 10 months. Says, differently punctual and heterosexually challenged, as always. Horwitz Feinberg and Horwitz for 10 says, should be worried when Medicare is in better health than Burb? Probably, but it's not that bad, okay? It's not that bad. Slosher, who's been a member for 13 months, says, glad to see the bird is still alive, if a little worse for wear. Thank you, man, me too. And for 20 Canadian, Slosher says, in the last couple weeks, I've started seeing posts about how, why are you still talking about COVID? That was 5 years ago. Oh my God, we have to talk about COVID tonight because guess what? A bunch of new stuff has come out about COVID. And the people who never shut up about slavery or Nazis want us to forgive and forget. Exactly. And you definitely should not. You should not. Remember that? I always bring up that article. We will forget much of the pandemic and that's a good thing. Yeah, let's not fucking forget.
The only thing that should
Here's
be
the
coming
clip.
out about COVID is fucking exit wounds are next to a wall.
Oof.
Oof. So they were at a conference, ARC conference in London. So James was in the UK, and Dr. Dutton approached him. Now, of course, James Lindsay has been promoting,
Desperately trying to promote a theory that is in no way making sense.
Systematically testing the limits of Aiden going, I'm friends with X, but...
of this idea of the woke right, and it's just it's an incomprehensible. He's tried to define it over and over again, and sometimes he'll get close to something that appears to be a definition. But the problem is, James, and I don't think I've said this in so many clear words as much before from one academic to another, is that your definitions don't have boundary conditions. It is a fundamental problem with your axiom if you don't have proper boundary conditions, and it doesn't. It is so broad as to be meaningless in its definitional nature, and therefore is a worthless term.
No one could ever accuse Lindsay of getting dangerously close to making a point.
Anyway, that's my point on it.
Oh no,
But
he's advancing towards us with Anglo intent.
the problem with when you have a theory, right? So any kind of theory, it has to have these things called boundary conditions because the theory can't be the theory of everything. Otherwise, it's the theory of everything. So boundary conditions are your description of the theory both needs to describe what it encompasses and, most importantly, what it does not encompass. And if you don't have a very, very strict set of things that define what something is and what it is not, then the theory is worthless because it is unable to differentiate and be distinct from other variables. You'd get way too much noise. Also, you'd have to find some way to test this, which you should be able to, if there is such a thing as woke right, you should be able to measure it on a Likert type instrument, in which case then you would want to check it against what we would expect to be related instruments like the right-wing authoritarianism instrument or Protestant work ethic instrument. And if there's a high lack of or a high degree of overlap, then you could start to see if and it's consistent, so reliable and valid. And then you have multiple forms of reliability and validity. But none of this has been tested because there's no fucking boundary conditions. Sorry, I'm going on a fucking.
If you're going to throw
tangent.
a bunch of bullshit out there that with seemingly no rhyme or reason, the least you can do is qualify it with the other bullshit with no rhyme or reason in your own field. He's not even qualified it within its own field.
Yes. The point is that no one understands what the hell he's talking about, because I don't think he understands what the hell he's talking about. But Dr. Lindsay approached, one of the main sources of ire that Lindsay has been rallying against, along with the introduction of this woke right thing, is that he thinks that the dissident right, of which Spoon and I
is basically religious cult summoning archangels.
Yeah, but he has an issue with like the dissident right, and that's people like Curtis Yarvin, and then of course academic agents.
Can we just say what his actual problem is?
Sure, he doesn't want us to win.
No, his main thing is that he's funded and protecting the Jews. That's like that is patently obvious. The moment you in any way you're a European nation that wants to defend your own kin, he freaks the fuck out because my Hitler. He's like literally just that. Like he's just trying to dress up that basic fucking point. Same thing with kissing.
90s. He's like an 80s, 90s.
It's
liberal.
just post World War II forever. Yes. The Nazis are the biggest enemy.
The Nazis forever and ever. We can't get out of it. Everything it's secret Nazi, secret Hitler everywhere.
Yes.
Look, it's not useful. But I was right also is that
he wants to, as many people do, that we speak about here sometimes, wants to return to Fresh Prince. He just wants to
Which is
like
not
roll
real.
back the clock to 1995, where we all kind of got along, and Bill Clinton would go on TV and play the saxophone, and it was great.
And I'll sing the whole, yeah.
That's what. But the problem is that it's not even Anamoya. So Anamoya is a wanderlust for a time that one, I think, has not lived in. But I forgot there's a specific term for this, of a wanderlust for a time which has never existed. And that's what the people all experience, is this wanderlust. Sure, yes, it is a delusion. But to really illustrate that James does not know what he's talking about, and I do believe this is trolling, but let me get the pull-ups regards to the damn video. Sorry, I'm a little bit. I'm feeling okay right now, like pain-wise, so I'm actually in a really good mood.
We'll also do a video on this, because I thought it was funny. And I'd like to introduce my audience to Dr. Dutton, because he's amusing.
He's very...
And he sounds more posh than I do.
Okay, so let's watch the video.
Classical Anglo, like gadfly, just
yes,
flitting about.
Dr. James
all these
Lynch,
events,
knows
Yeah.
the woke
biting people on the side.
So he's gonna ask him about it. Here we go.
So if we sort of, hello, and welcome to the Jolly Heretic. I have here Mr. James Lindsay.
Hello.
Who is well known for his concept of the woke right. So James, what is the woke right?
The woke right is people on the right who act like leftists.
And how do they act like left?
Yeah.
What? That is the
What does
most
that mean?
mindless, vague statement
Yeah.
ever. They act like leftists in terms
does
of
it
rhetoric, in
Well,
terms
no.
of nothing. That just means fuck all.
No, Dutton's very good at this too, though, because he's just very polite to him. Just asks him questions. Lets him walk himself into. Dutton barely he doesn't even push back against him really at all. He just lets him kind of embarrass himself, as we'll see.
What left's about?
Oh, cancel culture, identity politics, the whole kind of 9 yards. Maybe the embrace of critical theories, Marxian analysis, maybe postmodernism.
How do they act like postmodernists, though? What is it that defines being woke right in the sense of behaviour? What is it they believe?
Well, the behavior is primarily, like I said, the identity politics and the censorship, the cancel culture. But how they define postmodernism is that they reject objective truth and accept the idea that truth is local and narratives belong to different communities.
Now
That's
this
true.
is
That's true, though.
it is, though, to a certain degree, right? I mean, there is an objective truth, yes, but there are also cultural narratives that are very important and are true for that culture.
But you can't separate
This is
them.
a very
for example,
this is a very atheistic stance, right?
But it's
'Cause you're
also a very globalist stance.
Well, because yes, and so to people who are Christians
Because
in a
there
Christian
is a
nation,
truth to
their
being a
Christian
Frenchman.
belief, yes, and there
There's a truth
is
to
a
being an
truth to
Englishman.
that, and there is truth to that is not so easily defined by things that you can measure. And for James, being a mathematician, I think he doesn't like the unquantifiability of things like nationhood and cultural heritage, because he can't. And this gets into
He's also American, and therefore
what it
he
means
has
to be
a hard
English,
time
and
defining those things.
it's extremely painful to hear in America tell an Englishman what it means to be English. It just it goes there, guys. So prepare yourselves, okay? It's painful, but he still hasn't actually said anything here either. I think that's what James's issue is, that you can't quantify something like that. But when you are from someplace, it means something. You're talking about history that goes back hundreds and thousands of years, and I think this is clearly an Amerocentric attitude because America is so young. The people who are from these countries in Europe
Lands
have
with heritage.
been there forever.
They don't know what it means.
Yes.
My family
You know?
has been on this island 950 years. I still consider us non-local.
See? It's very different. But James has an Amerocentric attitude. And again, to say this, let it go. Hang on. Just
And this is the woke right that do this.
Yes, as well.
So how do they do that? I mean, what's an example?
Well, an example would be that to say that,
I'm sorry. You're the guy who came up with this, James. Example.
You literally define the criteria. You are the person who sets the standard, and you're suddenly poke him with a stick, watch his bollocks grow, put him in the ring, and he shrinks.
Well, the criteria was a circular definition. What is woke white? What is woke right? It's woke left. Well, what is woke left then? Well, it's identity politics.
That's all.
People
Okay,
being mean
what
to
is
me on
like,
Twitter
you
for some
have to
things,
explain
Lindsay.
what these things are. I think you can't define a definition with a definition with another word. You know what I mean? Like that's it's literally circular definitions. So I mean, he's not defined it, and now look. I know that having to come up with things on the spot is difficult. Trust me, but he's not like in an adversarial position. I don't think Lindsay has been Dutton approached Lindsay very congenially. It's not like he's being adversarial, and this is your baby, James. I know it's been 2 seconds, but you should have something immediately. I think.
This is the thing.
I just think that's all I'm saying. Deck. I'm being a little quick on the gun, but I thought it caught. Sorry, Spin.
This is the thing that he's never ever going to be able to answer, which is that in reality is every single society, the way society works is top down, which means the people in positions who do the top down are going to have the largest influence in culture. If you want your kin in those positions of power, you are obviously going to advocate for your own. You're not going to share this with a different race, because that is how literally every single fucking society since the dawn of time has existed. There's no such thing as a colorblind society of fucking France. No. You're French, you're European, you're white. And white only. That is how it fucking works. The only time you want to have people of a different ethnicity is when those different ethnicities provide something. Considering all the places outside of Europe is objectively fucking worse than us, we gain nothing by having non-Europeans in any positions of authority in Europe. They benefit from us being in their positions of authority because we make objectively better societies. That's the thing that he's never ever going to tangle with, the fact that Europeans make better civilizations.
How about just this? This is, and I think the more salient point, or a more obvious one, which is that why is it only white people that have to do this? No other culture is expected to bring in a bunch of people from other cultures.
Diversity is just anti-white. That's all it means.
Well, exactly. If this was really about because everybody is better together, then why is nobody? At least I don't see it very often. I don't see a lot of calls from Westerners for Japan and South Korea to open up their borders.
If everyone's better together, but other cultures other than whites are so great, then why won't you leave us alone?
Yeah.
I guess.
Why is it they have to? Like even here on this island, a spit of land small that won't even appear on maps. I've still got to share this place with every Tom, Dick, and Harold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, white man's burden stuff. Anywho, let's get back to this though.
In order to properly understand, since we're in England, what it means to be English, that you have to have such deep heritage back to your generations before.
Yes.
And thus, the truth of being English is rooted in this kind of maybe ethno-nationalism.
So this is his example of what woke right is believing that being English involves being from England.
Yes, being English involves not just like a contract theory, but it actually involves like literally generations of people. But I don't know if you've noticed this, James, but a nation is its people.
Yes.
Any nation that has been made by literally generations of people passing down. You know the way that a business is run and it's like 6 generations of the same freaking family running it? That's because that belongs to that family, right? It's what makes the place, is the people. And if you just think like, oh, look, well, you can just replace them left, right, and center, then you're just a globalist.
I mean, do you not get when you were back home in South Africa, I mean, Bill's the only one out of us who lives where he was born,
The room in which I sit is not 100 yards from the place I've ever lived.
Pretty much, yeah. We're like next door, so pretty much. So yeah, it's but I also, you feel a connection to certain places. Like when I'm back home in like West Virginia, or particularly in West Virginia, but also places in Maryland and Virginia. And I was only born in Virginia. I never really lived there. But when I go to some places, you can like just feel it. And yes, is it esoteric? Is it a vibe? And not something quantifiable? Yes. And
that's the whole point.
And I feel that way about places in America where my family's only been for 300, 400 years. I look at places in England and Ireland and Wales in places in Germany where a lot of my ancestors are from, and I at least will look at some of just like these forests and places in nature and feel a connection to it. And I think that that's something very normal. I think that would serve evolutionary purposes for us to feel these kinds of connections to places and to people.
If you
so
want
that you have
to, if you want to
in-group
hear precisely how well globalism is working for white folk, I suggest you go to Flanders Fields and ask the dirt.
I mean, do you
Or
feel
South
that
Africa.
way when you're in South Africa? You don't really? Well, your family again being South African are more Dutch, but part of your family is Irish, right?
No, I have no Irish connection, and don't you ever assume that ever again.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't remember why you were Ireland then.
Because my family was asked to move here for business
okay.
reasons.
Oh, okay. My bad. But did you feel that when you were in South Africa, like just a connection to that land? Had your parents or had your family lived there for a while?
I mean, I probably didn't because I was too young to appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true. I think you have to be a little older to start feeling that way, because I didn't feel that way. But that's a complex emotion. It's a very complex sort of feeling.
Yeah, I'm basically just like a global homo baby at this point.
Well, I know, me too. But I think that's ridiculous, though. I want to go back to what he's saying here, is that like a woke right idea is that being
The
English
concept of nationhood.
means having familial generational ties to a place. If that's woke right, then I am woke right.
Most people are woke, right? Actually.
That except for extreme globalists. Yeah.
Yes.
But can you be ethno-nationalist and not be woke right?
That's an open question at this point. The term is a little bit new. I don't know.
Even though
Motherfucker,
James,
you made it.
James, you have said over and over again that it is foolproof. It's fully defined. That nobody can debunk it. That it's perfect. But now you're saying it. Well, it's still new.
Oh please, it's about as
Okay.
well defined as God made his chin.
Dude, don't be mean.
I'm gonna be mean. I'm decided mean. I was born me.
You can critique his arguments, but let's not be catty and petty.
No, that's not
keep me
true.
here for.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I generally would probably throw you in the woke right category if you're ethno-nationalist.
Well, why? I mean, if you're saying that the
fucking
nature of the
chin strap.
English is that they are a group of people with
No,
common
but this isn't. It's not that it's a group of people with common ancestry. It's that there is a particular
second.
understanding of the.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It
It
is-
is literally what you just said, like not 10 seconds ago.
I know.
That is
The
exactly
way
what
he
you just
defined
said.
it
You just
was
said common
people with
heritage.
a common,
What the hell?
common
Yes.
heritage. That means common ancestry.
Yes, that's what
From a
heritage is.
specific
you
place.
dumbass.
So
Why
he's
is that
saying now
bad?
it's not heritage. So what is it, James?
world that is only comprehensible from within that ancestry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally every nation state.
James, can I ever understand what it is to be Japanese?
No.
No. It doesn't even matter if I was born in Japan.
Yes.
I'm not Japanese.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't, Jared Taylor was born in Japan, speaks fluent, perfect Japanese.
He's
He
not
would
Japanese.
never call himself Japanese, and not in a million years. He's a
I
proud
will say he does
Caucasian.
have the cultural tendency towards extraordinarily high-level autism, but
But
I think he was going to get there either way. It's the reason
I
they're
mean,
honorary.
I live here in Guernsey for the rest of my life. I'll never be from here. And sometimes I guess that's weird. It's like there's a lot of times, Bill, we'll be talking and I'll be like, did you have that here growing up? Or do you know about that thing? Because, just little cultural things that are different are that you'll, and there's millions of them. I've lived here for 6 years, but you never run out of idiosyncrasies.
I'm still
just
finding
little
stuff now
things.
myself, and I've been here 33.
I know. Just
Been on
like,
34.
so that's okay. So according to Lindsay, it's not the common ancestry. It's a feeling that common ancestry means something. That's woke, right? But again, you can't just move to England and become English. It is more than that, and it's more than just being born here, or in America or wherever. It is more than that. This is very
But
globalized, very atomized.
It's not quantifiable, therefore he as
Therefore,
an academic. Do you know what his problem is? Is that he's a mathematician.
Yeah, and I can be very anal retentive about quantitative data as well, but this is just something where it's too close to spiritualism. Sorry, it's just like you can't.
It's
and
a
he's a
theological argument,
hardcore.
basically.
He's like a hardcore atheist,
Materialist.
new atheist movement guy, so he doesn't understand
He's a
the
materialist.
theological, I'd say, aspects of it, and that's why he thinks it's a cult, or why he thinks it's some kind of weird satanic thing.
And the irony is that he's the one who actually sounds like he's in a cult.
I see.
It's an epistemological position, not a.
Well, that's a far more. The position you're adopting is far more nuanced than the position that you're normally perceived to adopt. Then, isn't it?
That's probably right. I mean, that's typically the case there. Twitter is not.
He's trolling you, you moron. That's
He
his
is
joke.
clearly that is clearly trolling him.
best
Yes,
vehicle.
because he
I haven't
doesn't
given
have
very many.
any epistemological position in his definition of woke
Well,
right
he
at all.
still hasn't explained
None.
it at all. He's done a really piss poor job of explaining it and contradicted himself.
If you're saying,
Yeah.
so if you're saying, I understand this and you don't, why not? Because I'm English.
Yes.
It's a bit like a person saying, I have an understanding of the nature of Greenlandicus because I'm Greenlandic.
Yes.
And that's
And more importantly, then, that there's an authentic understanding, right? This is where it transitions into the kind of awakened consciousness of.
I don't know how you can be an American in England saying this to an Englishman.
Yeah, it's
James, you do not know what it's like. You do not know what it's like to be English. Does it matter if you never go back to the U.S. and you live, where were they? London, I'm guessing, wherever. Yes, and you spend the rest of your life in London. Short one, probably due to all the stabbings. But you will never know what it's like to be English. You could go move to Japan and spend the rest of your life studying the way of the sword, as I know that you were fond of. You will never be Japanese or know what it's like to be Japanese.
His weapon of choice seemed to have been that Chinese Tadao.
This is a fundamental fucking philosophical question. You can't know what it is to be something that you're not.
I don't actually understand this perspective because I've lived in Ireland for more than 2 decades. I would never call myself Irish.
Yeah.
And just living here amongst them does not make me think I'm Irish either. To me, the Irish is an Irish passport does not entitle me to their ancestry or their cultural feeling of belonging. To me, that it's just insane.
Oh, it's almost
So
like
when
you're
someone
not
can
running away from
understand
anything.
this, yeah, that too. But how anyone thinks this is a very American perception, which is just the
Yes,
contract theory,
yes.
which is just oh look, I have a piece of paper that says I'm here, therefore I'm one of these people. No, that's insane.
This is fundamentally an American perspective, which makes
because anyone can
absolutely
become
no
an
sense to
American.
Europeans.
Because and that's just not the way the world works outside of America. I can't live in Japan or
Yes.
even born in Japan and consider myself Japanese because that's fucking stupid. Because Japanese are a distinct group of people. Americans,
no-
anyone can be an American. And an Afrikaner is exclusively a blood tie thing.
There's no other country on earth where you can become from that. And even then, I mean, that's part of the foundational myth of America, right?
And it
But that's
certainly
the
really
only
applies
place
when
where
it's
the case.
convenient. I mean, look at the 40s.
yes.
It's like, oh, suddenly all those Japanese Americans are not American anymore. They're in a camp.
Or suddenly all those right-wing Americans are the people who won't take the facts, But
We
the more
spent
important
4
point
years
is,
with people, half of the country just not having rights, pretty much.
yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
basically.
Fun times. Wow, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Then we'll get to those in just a second. And then we'll finish this up, and then we'll have a discussion about it. As I know we're talking as we go, because this is just fascinating.
That
Anywho.
super chat from Kizza, I actually believe him for once. I actually think he would be able to actually convince me of that in 5 minutes. Or at least give him a funny go.
Yeah, I'll read it in a minute.
The woke. That's what woke stands for, is awakened consciousness, right? So you can imagine, for example, with the left, as we've heard, that you say, there's racial consciousness, say, in being minority status. We'll use the American example that, say, Ayanna Pressley, who's a congresswoman, said there's a difference, but she said, no, I want to make sure we have the right people here. She said, we don't want any more black faces who are not black voices, right? Right. And then we had Nicole
That's a
Hannah.
political
This
thing,
is
yes.
also the other thing that's about this. That's like,
That just means political leftist.
he had a really weird example in the British context, which again, I'm just talking about fucking what's her name again? Ash Sakar.
Shaka, yeah.
Yeah, he has no. It's kind of. I think it takes some cojones to go to a conference in the UK, say what he just said, and then immediately go like, now to go back to talking about the United States, right? I'm sorry.
It's either cojones or retardation. It's a very fine line.
I should when I was at I know I talked about this before, but when I was at Shieldings, I did feel a little bit uncomfortable talking about British politics as an American, but I mean you want to tailor the things that you're going to talk about, even if it's a conversation and a speech at a conference, to where and what the conference is about. So I just find it interesting he had to go immediately to the American example, but that is his area of expertise. So let's hear it out. Example of woke right.
Jones from the 1619 Project,
Or this is woke
commonly
left.
recognized as left woke or woke, said that there's a difference between being racially black and politically black. And then we had Larry Elder, who's a black man run for governor in California, and the LA Times publishes that he's the black face of white supremacy,
Yes,
which means
basically
that they weren't speaking authentically into the true understanding of what being black meant, right?
But here's the thing: Black Americans have no tie to America in terms of when
Yes.
we're talking about this ancient, cultural, familial,
They're basically
ancestral
just
ties.
blood-filled labor machinery that
Most-
became
and-
outdated thanks to technology.
I mean, the
And then
reality
they had no
is that
home.
the vast majority of African Americans can't trace their lineage back to slavery.
Their dad.
They have, unfortunately, a lot of them can't do that. I mean, it's funny, but it's also true.
It's
What is
fucking
it,
tragic.
70
It's legit tragic to have an entire
70
race
plus
completely.
percent? I think it's nearly 80. I believe it's. I'm going to go on the lower estimate. I believe it is 70% of Black children in the United States are born out of wedlock into a
It's
single
one
mother
of those
household.
tragedies that's so aggressively tragic that it circles back around to being hilarious.
Well, I mean, like you can't. Well, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. It's like I mean, the absolute state. But yeah, like they can't trace. Let's just be honest. Yeah, if 70% of African American children are born out of wedlock to single mother families. Yeah, guess what?
Come
a lot
on,
of
that
them
was
don't know
funny
who
as
their real
hell.
parents are. So it is.
That's why that's why I'm like brick facing it.
I'm trying to provide a good commentary on it. Look, so that you don't have the ties to the land. So that's why they don't have any ties. They don't care. Why do they burn down their city? They wreck and destroy. They have no tie to it. They don't care. It's not theirs.
That's what they do with everything, Aiden.
I mean, true, but
Even
like
their own
you
freaking
know,
countries.
it's true. They destroy their own stuff. Whatever. Look, but maybe if they had some kind of respect for it, I guess. If they had if it was some sacred thing,
okay. The only
They
black
keep rebuilding
people
that
I've
mud temple.
Dude, no, the only black people
know,
I've ever known to do that,
the Great
the
Mosque of
first thing they
Jenny?
do, the first thing any black people do when they get, and you can ask any black person this, the first thing black people do when they get money is get the fuck away from other black people.
Get away from Black people and spend it all. Yeah.
Yeah, or look at there's been dozens upon dozens of cases of black people in Africa who tried to make a go of their life. They tried to start a business. So, like for instance, they buy a bunch of fruit to sell or something like that. One of the elders in their family waltzes by. Your brothers and sisters are hungry and will just fucking steal it from them because they have no long-term concept of profit
Or time, for that matter.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
seriously, like there's a significant proportion of black people who literally cannot understand the concept of the future.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it's a
Like,
it's
biggest
because
empire in that neck of the woods. What, the Malian Empire, which were like one of the most horrific slave states in human history.
if you want to know why I think that has to do with the cold winters hypothesis, and it's why you see
They're
the
a
IQ.
language.
Language has a big part. Oh, I love to talk about the Paraha people and all that stuff. There is some pretty significant evidence per Sapir-Whorf, which is that if it doesn't exist within your language, it doesn't exist within your cognition, which is crazy. So
insane.
if you don't have words for certain numbers and time, those concepts don't exist. There's some evidence, pretty significant evidence for that, particularly with that Paraha case study.
That to me is insane.
Yeah, it is. So if you don't have any reason to develop these things because you don't need to track things like the weather and river inundations and seasons, then you don't develop it. If there's no, evolution forces people to adapt to under harsh conditions. And if you don't have particularly harsh conditions, you don't have to adapt around them. That's the expectation for human intelligence.
And yes, that joke from Bill did break me. It's a fun joke.
Anyway,
Good punchline.
let's finish this. So we got a bunch of super chats to get to.
So when you've taken this now a step, if you take this a step further down the road from where we were, there would be a position where you might say, not only do you not understand what I'm saying because of not being English, there's a step where you might say you're not truly English because you don't believe the right things. That would be an example of being.
Yeah, sorry. I think there are some things that if you believe them, I don't think you're truly English. Like, okay, let's think of one. What, France is superior? I don't know.
France isn't real.
True. I don't know. Try throwing rocks at it.
Germans deserve to
Close
win.
enough. Yeah, just say. I mean, like, there's certain thoughts that you could have that I think that many people would say are utterly un-English.
Oh, this thing. Okay, good rule of thumb. You ask someone, how's the Milton Keynes traffic? And if they do not react with just psychotic, rampaging, like anguish, they aren't English. That's the fucking litmus test. Can you refer to Milton Keynes with a face untwisted by hate?
Or ask them
Milton Keynes really the worst?
who has the worst English accent? Which region?
Ooh.
Scousers.
Yeah, it's usually now
probably
they're going to be
right.
Scousers or Brummies.
Promise you.
You
I
have a
don't
hard
know.
job fucking finding a Brummie these days.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I know. I'll tell
Scouser
you
is
again.
hard as hell to understand.
I can't.
I'm trying to think what's the worst.
Sometimes it's rough.
offender.
I used to game with them, so I can understand them fairly well.
Yeah, it can be rough. But no, I would say it was. I'm reminded what I was trying to think of an example of when I was in Birmingham. Yes, when I was in Birmingham last year, and my hotel booking got all fucked up, and the like guy who worked at the front desk, where he was like a sort of bellboy kind of guy, who like, helps with. He was just at the front desk. He was gonna. It was, I don't know. There was some kind of big party going on in the city. There was some big festival, so the hotel bookings got all messed up. I didn't even know. I was on my way back to Guernsey from visiting. Was that when I was in the U.S.? Yeah, I think so. From Vegas. I think that was it. Whatever. That doesn't matter. Anywho, so this guy, he's a black guy, but he has a English accent, and he's like, I'm using a cane because I do use a cane to walk. And he was like, I have this huge bag, and he dragged my bag to 2 other locations from the same hotel chain that were within a couple blocks of each other, and all of them were having the same computer issues. But he dragged my bag around like for 30 minutes, and then like this one cab driver was trying to get a cab to go to another hotel, and the guy was being a dickhead and wouldn't help me with my bag. And he finally, and so the bell guy, the front desk guy, helped me again, and he said, "It's fundamentally un-English." I thought that's what that reminds me of. Like that guy's still not English, but indicates that there is an Englishness, and the fact that Lindsay doesn't get that is bizarre to me. Because when I say, what does it mean to be an American, there's an Americanness that people have.
Nothing
that's sort of
naturalizes a
undescribable.
person quite
Just
like another
behaviors.
generation of migrants.
Right?
It's like just someone like dusky as hell just saying fucking foreign bastards like
It's a
you're
real long
from
story.
Madeira.
Yeah, sorry for that long story. Sorry, I gotta get through this.
And that
Things of
belief
unbelief.
is
It doesn't take
some
10
just
minutes
sort of
to do
intuitive knowledge.
That's right.
Almost like inherited knowledge.
Yeah, but in fact, what it is ideology imposed upon inherited knowledge. It's actually ideological agreement is what ends up defining whether or not you're authentic to the.
So he's kind of admitting that there
That's-
is inherited knowledge.
That's literally
And it's-
every civilization, James.
Yeah, it's an ideology placed upon inherited knowledge from being from a place.
It's called being passed. It's passed down generational knowledge, you dimwit.
This is where he got mad
That's
at me.
literally how all civilizations survive.
And he got all angry with me over me saying that Christianity had an important role to play in what you define as Western civilization.
It
then
did,
he was-
and I think if
yeah.
you were to have any argument, I think Professor Ladine would whoop the fucking shit out of
Yeah.
him with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's literally one of his
So
quotes.
that's very interesting.
Yeah. So yes, that's what part of what it is. It's these ethics. They go beyond just being born there, or moving there, or living there. their cultural ethics. It is feelings. It is undefinable.
Basically,
A cuckoo in a crow's
from-
nest is a cuckoo all the same.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, his perception of the world is basically we can export the American melting pot theory.
Yes.
Which
Yes,
is ridiculous because
very
it doesn't
much.
even work in the United States. It's
And
been
it
more
never
than
will.
250 years, and you still have, like, the Black Caucus or the Hispanic Caucus or an Asian. People are always with their own base.
Sure, everybody else
and
is
they're with
fine.
the-
Everyone else.
Yes,
Shit.
yes, and
Just whites.
yes, and white people are not allowed to advocate for their own. Like the moment black people want to be with their own, that's completely fine. Like literally, whatchamacallit, who is the crazy bitch who was advocating for the Robert DiAngelo and the other one? I think it was her that was advocating for like the safe spaces.
Abram X. Kendi.
Yeah, those two. Like they were advocating for basically segregation, but just calling
Yeah.
it safe spaces. It's like so you're
Yeah.
basically just for segregation away from white people, whilst also wanting to live in a white society. It's like the reason why you want to be near white people is because the reality is, if you just look at statistically speaking, it is safer for black people to be away from other black people. Like you are safest in any minority to be with white people than everybody else. Like
Oh,
what is
that's
that?
Yeah,
doing?
interesting.
until I'll say
That's
that.
interesting. We'll listen to what Trevor Noah has to say about that later, won't we?
Well,
Oh, boy.
Nobody wants to say this, but white people are literally the nicest people on the face of the fucking earth. We civilize you people to such an extent that you want to live with us while also complain about it. It's because you're
White
envious.
people are very unique in their altruism scores. Yes.
Yes, to their freaking detriment.
Because we were in we evolved
We
culturally
gave
we,
them-
we live under
in,
the
in these very
we
you
live
know,
under the
closely
false
knit
assumption these
communities
days that
where altruism was not
profit
important.
equally
Yeah.
will give equal results regardless of the actual variables.
There was a quote that I read by someone, I can't remember who it was now, but they said that the European civilization, Europeans are surrounded by their own greatness to such an extent they don't even recognize it. But
Oh, yeah,
other
for
people
sure.
do.
Oh, yeah.
And they are so envious of it that they hate us in a way that we can't even understand.
Yep.
Like, this is just the way that we are, and they look at us, they're basically like, you can have these things, and they just hate us because they've built civilization that they've never done.
Yep. Anywho, let's finish this up so we can get to Jets and move on to other stuff. Although I'm glad we covered this because this is fascinating.
So it's almost like a no true Scotsman arc.
That is.
To say if an ethno-nationalist were to say, I accept you are a Scotsman because we have common ancestors going back to whatever. Oh, except I don't accept you're a Scotsman because you're left wing.
Yeah, very exactly. That's exactly right.
Right. So actually, then this woke right idea is not as silly as I had originally thought. I have to say because
No, it's sillier.
it's been simplified. It's been simplified. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure
Goodbye, chaps. Goodbye.
Okay, guys.
If I
Is
ever
Dr.
get a,
Dutton trolling or not?
It would have been nicer of him if he just waltzed up to him and just shot him in the back of the head. It would be less damaging to him.
Oh, okay, so
I,
it's less silly than I thought.
if I ever get the chance to be interviewed by him, and he has actually reached out to me.
Nice, you should go on.
Yes, I would like to ask him. Please tell me you're actually trolling him because his answer makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
He probably won't give you a
He won't
truthful
give you an
answer.
He won't admit it, even if he does. Because
He's too much of a troll, man.
No, I
he's also-
I won't say that bluntly, but I will just tell him like, well done for trolling James Lindsay because his answers were.
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I'm not that
dear
stupid for God's sake.
DRT is King for 20 says, thank you for not streaming during Karsha. Oh, I didn't know, sorry. Love platonic to Aiden from the Kamiyoshi of my heart. In terms of putting the woke away, I think the Bezos or Zuckerbergs are, while the bridge types are digging in. Yeah, you're gonna, like I said, it's not going away. It's just the heads are gonna shift around a little bit.
I feel like academic agent's gonna argue on the point.
You don't think there's a power shift going on?
No,
In terms of the
thinks that-
public faces?
Yeah, no, I think his perception more is how
What was his
visible,
argument?
where it's gonna go is he's ultimately think we're gonna return to colorblind 90s liberalism shit.
Yeah, probably. Well, there's.
I think,
but,
but okay, so here's where I
1890s,
actually
maybe.
agree with him as well, is that I think the push was a bit too much, and it made people way more racially aware of everything. And I
Yeah.
also think one of the reasons that Trevor Noah spoke about the segregation thing is I think some of them are wise enough to go, we have really pissed off a lot of white people. And
Well, no,
when
this
white
is
people
exactly
get
what-
pissed
okay.
off, I'm still talking, Aiden, for God's sakes, Jesus Christ, woman.
No, okay,
is
go ahead,
that
yeah.
well, if you piss off white people, we tend to make new nation states. So it'll be wise if you shut the fuck up and maybe appreciate it, because if you push us too far, heads will roll, quite literally. So maybe the reason why they're a bit more careful is like, yeah, this could end up really, really badly for us, and it's not a sustainable model in the long term, because
No,
you
okay.
need white people, because you're basically a bunch of parasites, and if you suck the host dry, you die.
Oh yeah, particularly for their war machine. No, actually, okay, I agree completely. I think there was just a miscommunication there. No, I think the woke is being put away, and they're going to divest that energy
Or rather,
though,
this version
into
is.
something else. Yeah, this version. So if you want to call, my point stands.
Yeah.
This particular thing is going away, but it will be replaced with something else. I just don't know what it is exactly yet. I think it's going to be war stuff, personally, that or environmental stuff. But I don't think the environmental stuff has enough oomph
Legs.
behind it, unless
Yeah.
they do a tragedy, which of course we know that the U.S. government in particular loves to do. If they do an environmental tragedy or find a big reason to do one, then they can make that
BP oil
the
spill.
next thing. Obviously, they're putting the Ukraine stuff away. That's over. I don't know about Israel-Palestine. Obviously,
I feel like Trump wants to imperialize it and make it like an American
what
resort.
Trump is saying, yeah, basically,
Just reinstate Jerusalem.
I don't know. Look,
The
we
kingdom
know.
of Jerusalem, I should stress.
I don't
know
think
that
Netanyahu's
Trump-
a fan of what Trump wants to do, actually.
He does seem to be shitting broken glass slightly.
Yes, which is quite funny.
But I'm waiting to see. I'm very
Also-
skeptical.
we
Trump
know
on
why,
Israel, okay?
because-
Very skeptical.
Because Netanyahu wants Edom to fall, and it probably won't happen under Trump, touch wood.
Yeah.
The way that I sort of look at that is, I think, if you were any one person who was pro-Israel, not so much in the nation-state sense, but more in the sense of a globalized approval of the regime of Israel, Netanyahu is not going to be your boy. Netanyahu is a
No.
prick. He is a fucking asshole with a mass amount of corruption scandals. So I would imagine that if you are someone that wants to see the reputation improve, you would be against him, while still supporting Israel, just not its current leadership position. The same way that you can like England, but Keir Starmer can suck a fat one.
Sure, yeah.
So, I'm wondering if there is a way that Trump is saying, hey, look, I'm for this country, but not under this fucking present leadership. Get the fuck out. I'm going to bully you up until you do as I say, because I own you, bitch. While I'm here, you're not going to do jack shit.
I would argue a love of a country demands the hatred of its government.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well.
A few marked exceptions that are probably
Yeah,
rule.
you basically have to keep it in line. Kessa for £5 says, woke is from the civil rights movement, so being anti-woke equals revoking Civil Rights Act and bringing back segregation. Any objections? Hey, you're going to agree with Trevor Noah later, dude.
No. Segregation requires them to be here.
Oh, true.
Oh,
Soul on the Lich for
Back
100
to
ARS
Liberia.
says, the cancel culture. I don't see wokies being Thanos snapped Alex Jones style off the internet or debanked. I know, right? But perpetual in-group victimhood orientation. They're just private accounts and hide. And only when there's a mass backlash for months. Yeah, and like they're just losing their and it's not the big guys, it's not the ones deep in, it's a couple of public faces and a lot of mid-level employees who are getting to get fired for
Yeah,
doing
basically.
this shit. Hans
There's no
Picture
bigger
for-
power group than middle management civil servants.
Right. Diversity is our strength. The big lie pushed by 20th century liberalism. Thank you for the 5. Yes, exactly.
yeah, basically.
Diversity is our strength. Jacob Lowe for £5 says, woke right is the creation of the containment right. End of story. Yet to quote Sam Hyde, you're getting called a slur. Yep. Yep. It's woke right is gonna be. Yeah, these are the people who are. Or do you think that the people they're labeling as woke right are the containment, or it's supposed to be everyone outside of that's the containment, the kind of neocons who play nice and don't say harsh truths. Slasher for 5 Canadian says, does James Lindsay think Israel is woke? Oh, I'm sure not.
That's a good question, actually.
But it is a good question. It came up for some reason today that like Israel has the biggest pride parade in Asia, and they're it's very
In Asia?
Oh, because of this. Well, I saw that on the Wikipedia article because I was listening to stuff that's going on with Ethan Klein, and of course the commies, the Son Piker fanboys, they hate Israel, and they're all wokesters, but it's like
It's the only place in the Middle East that doesn't throw gays off of rooftops. Not only doesn't throw them off of rooftops,
Which makes it the gayest place in the Middle East, quite literally.
Is the gayest place apparently in all Asia. Is what Wikipedia is how Wikipedia defined it, or a link on Wikipedia. I didn't look into it extensively. I'm not that interested in whether or not Tel Aviv really is the gayest city
Oh, of
in
course.
Asia.
Well, where do you think all the nonsense flee to?
I have heard. I have heard. So I don't know. I don't know if Lindsay would. If Lindsay would think Israel is
I'll
woke.
stick with the Windsor, it's funnier.
No, it's the only fucking win he's going to get lately, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like he won that. Galactica Watkins for £5 says, how do we save not so Great Britain without violence? It's getting bad here. Yeah, I know, man.
Violence.
It's
Landmines?
I hate to break it to you, fam, but the violence is already
protect your
here.
property. Unfortunately, it kind of is. Yeah, I want to have kids, but fear the Stasi will take them away. Cheers. I know, man. We're facing the same issues. I'm not sure.
Go join a reenactment group, learn basic shield tactics. The riot squad in England is fucking atrocious, and they don't carry firearms.
Yeah.
If you can hold a choke point in your house, the police literally cannot stop you. The British police are a fucking joke and always have been. In terms
That's
of training.
true. Like we were talking about this the other day, but we're like even in Guernsey, we're supposed to pay for a TV license.
No, we're not. That is a fucking unjust ruling by the courts who were in the pocket of the fucking English. Same,
but you're still supposed
same judge
to,
who's a
right?
paedophile, by the way.
Of course. But aren't we still supposed to pay if we have a TV?
No, because it's considered a tax.
But they do come by and will knock on
Oh,
your door
they'll try.
and just bother you.
They'll try.
Would
It's
you like to
just
pay a TV
ridiculous.
license? No, fuck off.
Fuck no.
It depends
One,
where do you
we
want to be
don't have
buried
it.
on the property.
Yeah, and one, we don't even have it. Why? Oh God, why would I? Why would I watch the BBC for fuck's sake? Holy shit,
I've
Doctor!
had a Samsung TV widescreen bolted to my wall since we've been here. I have not switched it on once.
Right. Yeah, we haven't plugged up to anything. But yeah, I mean, in good news, everyone, Doctor Who is dead. Yay!
Good news.
Who could have seen this one coming? The
Cultural
fucking
Boston and
crazy.
British television is completely fucking dead because no one can manage it properly.
It's great, isn't it? What's the Red Letter Media
How's
quote?
it feel to watch
How's it
everything you love go down in
Go down in
flames?
flames? Feels great. It really does. And the thing that's so hilarious about that is that all these losers, particularly what's his face at the BBC, who used to no the writer Davies, Russell T Davies, because his whole thing is he's gay. So now that
He's gay.
He's gay. He's fat. So now that the woke stuff's going away, obviously they put Doctor Who away, but the way that they did it was actually pretty funny. This most recent season of Doctor Who had the lowest ratings since before the show was canceled the first time. I think it might be the lowest season on record, or if not, it's really close. No one watches it. It's unwatchable. It's Drek. And Russell T Davies, because he's a gay man, had to make everything like hyper homosexual in a show made for families. Yeah, I know people argue, Doctor Who's it's not for kids. It's scary. Yes, it is. It's that level of scary where you watch it with parents and then it's not so scary.
Let's call it what it is. It's tokusatsu for British people.
That is
Doctor Who is
exactly what
Kamen
Doctor
Rider.
Who-
Okay, I hate to break this to you,
yes.
but it's what it is.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And Torchwood's just
100%.
Super Sentai.
So
There's a different one every season, but there's the same through tone.
it's been Dr. Y for a while. I mean, some of the stuff that was in it in Ncuti Gatwa's run was just, oh my god, painfully awful. So anyway, the show is not officially canceled, but it really is not. It's certainly Ncuti Gatwa is not coming back
Good old Ncuti
because
Gatwa.
Hollywood Pedowood has tagged him and said you can come on over to America and be gay and black here, and no one will demand you pretend to be British, which you're so bad at. So Doctor Who is maybe dying. Let's hope. Oh, also Kathleen Kennedy is out. So speaking of another head of Disney. Or piece of Disney falling apart. But again, they'll be
I like
around.
the way people are
They're not going
celebrating
anywhere.
after she set everything else on fire.
Yeah. great,
Yeah.
she's burned the whole thing
Yeah,
down, but now she's out.
finally left
Yay!
after she's like demolished the
Yeah.
company. Like
It's like being
franchises.
It's like being happy that like a wild animal that broke into your office has finally been moved out by animal control.
Yes.
Like, I'm really glad that the bull in this that was in this China shop is gone now, but I'm still gonna have to pick up the fucking pieces, and my fucking feet have been shredded to bits for this ceramic.
Yeah.
The damage is done. You gotta pick up the pieces still.
Oh
Well,
God,
speaking
I saw
of
this.
damage being done, here's Pete Butt Judge, also abandoning ship on DEI.
A little bit of that event you described, and it was a caricature of everything that's wrong with our ability both to cohere as a party and to reach to those who don't always agree with us. And we cannot go on like that. We cannot. I also think that we believe that
You've pushed this shit.
You said
They never
bridges were
once-
racist, you moron.
They've
Maybe,
never once put a little bit of pushback.
like, maybe you should have pushed. Well, there was plenty of pushback in the left, of course. You know, if you see that porn tape that was made in the fucking house, there's any fucking pushback there. I mean, at some point, it's just fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. What level
Like-
scary? Like Willy Wonka scary, Ripter? Doctor Who can be pretty. I don't know,
There's,
that Willy
there's
Wonka
an
seems
old
really
episode
scary, but-
called "The Curse of Fenric," which is literally it's the Shadow over Innsmouth.
Yeah, Doctor Who can be pretty scary. Anyway, let's listen to Butt Judge, I guess. Yeah, Bridges are racist.
in the values that we care about for a reason. And this is not about abandoning those values.
Sounds like you're
It's about
abandoning
making
them.
sure we're in touch with the first principles that animate them.
What are your first principles?
The first principle and only principle is self-preservation. In
It's
other words, if I
power
keep
for me.
this up, I'll get voted out.
Yes, that's exactly what it is power for me. This isn't playing well right now, or I've been given orders to put this away. I don't know which one is the truth. Probably a little bit of column A and a little of column B.
we mean when we
You're lucky
talk
it's not a
about
little
diversity.
Columbine.
Fuck.
Is it caring for people's different experiences and making sure no one's mistreated because of them? Which I
Hold on a
will
second.
always fight for.
How could
Unless
you
they're white.
actually do that?
But you can't.
No,
Someone's
what
been
he's
mistreated
saying
because of their
is, please
differences.
don't lynch me from a fucking lamppost when this all kicks off.
I guess.
The
No,
way they say make sure that people aren't mistreated because of their experience. They mean make sure I'm safe.
that's what you think he means by it, huh?
Yeah, it's
Because
self-preservation. Fucking
that
nonsense.
statement doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, how the hell would you even do that?
Well, I think he means like, oh, black people, they're struggling because of systemic racism, so we're fighting for them so that they are on the same level. That's the kind of argument they come from, right?
That doesn't
Is
even
there's
make any sense.
systemic
That has nothing to do with what you
racism.
just said.
I know. I think, let's go back. I think that's what he means. Well, guys, let me know in the chat what you think. Okay.
It's about making sure we're in touch with the first principles that animate them. What do we mean when we talk about diversity? Is it caring for people's different experiences and making sure no one's mistreated because of them?
Yeah.
Which I will.
That's what he's saying. I was right then. He's saying that making sure that everyone's different. That's why diversity is good, because everybody has their unique experiences
and make sure they're not maltreated because of them.
and
Like
they shouldn't be
me
mistreated.
being
for it.
mistreated because I did a bunch of evil shit.
There you go. Yeah, maybe.
but that's what my point is, that your experience.
Okay.
Like, so what? So you're just supposed to go through like people's traumatic history and assume everything they've ever done or experienced
Yes.
is because of that. Doesn't. How the hell would you enforce
Yeah,
that?
that's but they do that. They put it in their woke calculations. That's why they,
But it's retarded.
why
It doesn't make any sense.
But it's why college essays have become the most important thing, over way above high school grades and SATs, because the colleges want to, they want to accept black and minority students so they can go, look how progressive we are. Look how many black students we have that we're, paying to go here on the dime of the white kids who do pay. Is that they ask for the university entrance essays, and it's always like, talk about how diversity has impacted your life. That they're all like that. They've been like that for 20 years. Is this how diversity impacts you so we can give you shit?
always fight for? Or is it making people sit through a training that looks like something out of Portlandia, which I have also experienced, and it is how Trump Republicans are made, if that comes to your workplace with the best of intentions, but doesn't actually get at what we're...
Your best intentions are to get people who don't agree with you fired, make them destitute, have their kids raped, and you think it's funny. Those are your best intentions,
Never forget
asshole.
that, folks.
Never
Never,
forget.
ever
Yeah,
forget
idea.
how close, not just how close, how far these fuckers got.
Yep.
You want to make sure this doesn't happen ever again.
Yep.
what actually matters here, what's actually at stake. I think, and this might sound counterintuitive, if we were more serious about the actual values and not caught up in vocabularies and trying to cater to everybody only in terms of their particular...
Oh, not caught up in vocabularies. That means they're going to invent a new language.
Yeah, time for triple
the,
think.
It's going to... No, they're going to drop a bunch of all the language that they've used for the woke stuff. That's going to be phased out as slang, and there'll be new slang. So that's the thing, was we're doing new language. You have to... Are you excited to learn a new bullshit leftoid stupid made-up fucking lingo? Because that's what I'm reading.
I already play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Slice
I
of
don't need more
combination.
in my life.
True.
...of identities versus the shared project. Actually, we thought about it a little bit differently.
I don't
Things
know.
like diversity would be actually an example of how we reach out beyond our traditional coalition. And what I mean by that is the opposite of diversity is uniformity.
Okay.
That's not what that means, by the way.
Well, you can read between the lines in this. Basically, we were basically importing people to back us up, and apparently that's not working anymore. So we're gonna have to rethink some things.
Mm-hmm. And if there's one thing I really respect about principled conservatives, even if I don't always agree with them, is that they have a horror of anything that has a whiff of being pressed into conformity by government or by society. So I would like to appeal to...
Also, of course, he likes that because he is right about that.
He means libertarian.
No. He means conservatives, and he's right. And that's also to their fucking detriment. The reason why the left wins is because they are militantly organized and they don't fucking buck the power that Peter tells them.
Yes,
they are
okay,
organized
right,
because they don't disobey the chain of command. The reason why the left are like that is a boon to them. The right is constantly like, oh look, I'm an individual first. Like, no, motherfucker. The reason why you lose is because you're an individual first. The organized minority will always fucking beat you because they are that way. You need the rigid hierarchy because organization and you don't fucking disobey the chain of command is how an army works. And you need to be military organized and just like, no, this is the way things are. This is the way that the battle plan is going to go, and we don't disobey the higher-ups.
And they really don't. Comes first. They're actually not loyal. They're terrified.
No, they're loyal to power.
Which is a far more powerful motivator because they're terrified. But
yes, fear.
They are motivated out of fear, and fear is an extremely powerful motivator. But you're right. And I see what you mean, and he's actually right about that too. Then, which is that conservatives they won't fall in line with that, and that is why they lose.
The reason why they're divided right now, or
nature.
they appear to be divided, is because the current power is not with the left. It's with the right now, or it's being transferred to the right, and so they don't know. Yeah, basically, if you take all of your orders from particular demographics. Yeah, but if you take all of your orders from one particular group and that group no longer freaking exists, or it's being shattered, it's why they appear leaderless, is because they don't have a leader right now.
They're reorganizing, which means we got a tiny bit of breathing room. That means we should push forward, not let them recover.
Yes, basically anyone they look towards the leadership towards is to kill them.
Yeah.
Politically speaking, obviously, I mean that legally.
Right, yeah.
I, on the other hand, have a different opinion.
Jeez, thanks, Bill.
A conservative or libertarian instinct or a more progressive instinct, or I would say just an American belief that part of the point of living in a country like this is you don't have to conform to what other people demand of you. That we're not only on board.
We'll keep this in mind.
Board with that, we're champions of it.
What if you fuckers been doing for like the last 10 years?
I know. Nothing but forcing people to conform to the most ridiculous shit. Whether it's the trans stuff, the vaccine shit, all of the, just pointless navel-gazing moralism of, we have to bend over backwards for brown people, all this fucking shit.
Yeah, for him to say that now, it's just like
everybody.
you're taking a piss.
I know, but it's again like they're hoping you don't notice.
Yes.
So Joy Reid.
Oh, this has been the greatest thing this week.
Before we move on, I just like to throw out a line from Terry Pratchett, a left-wing person who had a way with words and nothing else. The thing about words is that meaning can twist just like a snake, and if you want to find snakes, look for them behind words that have changed their meaning.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's a good quote.
No one ever said elves are nice. Elves are bad.
Yep. Let's take it. So this article I pulled up because it has some classic Joy Reid moments.
Question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing?
I remember when she said this. That's one of the stupidest things she's ever said.
Nearly being
Look
shot.
at their faces.
Well, being shot, having your ears shot. I know.
Look at their faces and look at, oh, what the fuck did you just admit?
Jen Psaki, like, did you just compare an assassination attempt to having
You know what's bad
COVID?
when what's bad when even Psaki is looking at you like, bitch, what the fuck did you just say?
And this is 4 years, 5 years after COVID was 4 years since it's been relevant in a way that actually scared people, maybe 3.
But by the way, they're now testing nasal application vaccines. Keep an eye on that.
We're also gonna, I'll bring up some of the vaccines.
I think it's been
and some
FDA
new stuff's
approved.
come out. New stuff's come out recently, and it's interesting. Trump comes to office. All of a sudden, we're gonna talk openly about COVID vaccines now again. And I don't know.
Right in time for him to take all the blame.
But right in time for him to take all the blame. Let's look at some more Joy Reid there for now.
Get him back in for 4 years. Have him be the president who killed millions of people.
And then, he's to blame for COVID,
Here,
I'm just saying, guys, watch for it. Watch for it.
Use the word inflation are journalists
Paris Nichols typing.
and economists, right? So that is not part of the normal lexicon of the way people talk. So it's interesting that Republicans are doing something they don't normally do, right? Which is not use the common tongue, right? Not use just common English to sort of do on their campaigns like they're doing with crime.
Using common language. Again, she just thinks she's so much better than you.
I don't think that it's wise for you to
statistics?
ask for us to be, if it comes to
crime statistics,
we can be more clear if you'd like.
Oh, sure, we could. Well, what's 13 but also 50? Isn't it 11:49 now or something?
Probably less, yeah.
It's actually something more like 2:45.
I don't know. It's
because it's a male population.
Yes.
Yeah,
of a
male
certain age. Yes.
Yeah, and the actual quantity is like 2% of the population, and it's like 45% of the volume.
But what they've done is they've taught people the word inflation, right? Yeah. Most people who would have never used that word ever in their lives are using it now because they've been taught it, including on TV, including in news.
They've been taught what
like basic econ 101.
Conservatives and Republicans, most Americans don't know what inflation is. Sure thing, Joy. The condescension. This
Parasitical exists. People know what inflation is.
They sort of wrap this word.
Oh, and the irony that all she does is repeat talking
around whatever it is that they really want to vote. The reasons they really want to.
They all have ulterior motives, I'm sure. It's racism, isn't it? So
I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. She had Queen Latifah never endorses.
Oh my God! How could Kamala lose when?
She had every
even Maddow looks in
celebrity voice. She had.
When's the last time Queen Latifah? A second. When's the last time Queen Latifah did a single fucking thing?
Look at the even Maddow is like, oh my God, are you really doing this? Okay.
She had the Taylor Swift. She had the Swifties. She had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time.
You could not have run a better campaign than Kamala Harris because she had Queen Latifah and Taylor Swift.
I would like to know what kind of just absolute fuckwittery was running this place behind the scenes, because how in the name of God do you lose all 7 swing states and then have the audacity, the balls, or the stupidity, or who the fuck knows what, to say this kind of shit on air?
Oh, I know.
And this dumbass bitch didn't get fired sooner.
I know.
How did she get hired in the first place? She's an incredibly stupid individual.
Okay. A couple of reasons. She pisses off the right. That gets them clicks.
She pisses off everyone because she's dumb.
No, black women probably love this shit, is my guess.
Yes, but black women are also dumb as fuck.
Well, I mean, that's,
They are-
you know,
they are-
CNN thinks...
Do you think
they're
anyone
the
smart would sit
stupidest-
through this?
Or,
No,
CNN,
exactly.
MSNBC, think that's an
But that's
important
also the
part of their
people who
audience.
watch her, Bill.
Is obnoxious. And you know what? I bet liberal white women love her. Because she's sassy and she says what she wants. Go Queen. Oh, I guarantee
It's all left of media.
30-something plus white women love
Yeah,
Joy Reid.
like-
I guarantee it.
They're catering to people who want sassy, gay,
Well, she's not
or
gay,
black
is she?
friends.
Is she? I mean,
Like,
she
May
looks
as well
it's-
be.
Yeah.
Like who are the people who are presenting all these things? People who would have been bit characters in Legally Blonde, fucking 1488.
Possibly, yeah.
Then she did. Here's her reaction, and I thought we would enjoy Terrence Williams' reaction
Had to
to
shill his
her
fucking
reaction.
syrup though. Couldn't show some solidarity with Aunt Jemima.
Well, I mean, like syrup game. It's a tough business out here. So I thought we'd watch this version.
My show had value.
Oh God!
Holy fuck! Oh my god! I'm sorry. What the?
I'm sorry. That
Oh my god! I'm sorry for the flashbang. I didn't. What the hell? Oh my god.
that what I was doing had value. Had value. And in the end, I'm sorry. I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well.
Wait,
and
an egg?
what I will just say is,
I think he put an egg on it. Yeah.
Fuck up an egg that badly.
thank you.
Oh, no, it's a fried egg.
Well, it's got a yolk in it.
Is that
Well, yes, it's got. Like, how do you manage to fuck up a fried egg that badly?
guilt that I felt
fucked up.
that I
It's
went
chud.
hard on so many issues, whether it was
Yeah, it's because probably like some
Black
bacon in the
Lives
pan or
Matter
something.
issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed.
What the hell is she talking
Okay.
about?
Okay, Spoon. I promised myself I'd do this. What's your
is
opinion on
she
the
talking
pancakes at
about?
work here? Because I
Those are
don't
not
speak
pancakes.
Ebonics. I don't. That's bordering on like Johnny cakes rather than actual pancakes.
Those are not pancakes. Those are flapjacks.
No, flapjacks like the oat things. Like the cute, like
No, those are flapjacks. Like if you were to ask a South African what is he eating, he'd say flapjacks. They're like bigger ones, but those are flapjacks. Those are not pancakes.
Haha, funny black man. Yeah, I am amused by him just eating pancakes while she's crying.
Well, yeah, he
For
sells
some reason,
pancakes.
It's really
Nick.
funny.
He sells pancake mix and syrup for a living. He's
There
just
you
shilling
go.
his product.
Good. Do that while she's crying. It's funny.
I mean, they look all right, but like you're getting a lot of runoff for a syrup. Like you
Look,
kind of want it to stick a bit more.
If
than
I'm
that.
gonna have to listen to her cry, I at least want to also look at
Oh,
some
no.
pancakes.
No, I don't. You Spoon. How do you like your pancakes?
Me?
Is your name Spoon, bitch?
I didn't hear what you said.
I know you,
I don't
you
like
like your pancakes, as I make them.
I don't like pancakes thin
Wanna make
and
crepes,
covered in
is it?
cinnamon.
No, you like the cinnamon on it? I'm not a fan.
Yes, I somebody recently said to me they don't like cinnamon, and I almost just threw holy water at them.
Yeah, I mean, I like
Do
cinnamon.
enjoy cinnamon. I prefer cinnamon sugar though, just so you, know,
Yeah.
you can. I don't really want them built in.
I like tart apples in mine.
Who said Spoo wants Melanie make pancakes? Well, Melanie does keto, and like a carnivore
keto
diet. Sorry.
pancakes.
Yeah, she likes like
tricky
carnivore,
though.
so I don't know how the hell she would actually have pancakes.
You could have a meat cake, but I'm a little bit afraid of what that is.
Probably still be almond.
Melanie
round.
makes hate pancakes. Oh, she's a horrible human being then. How can you hate pancakes? Fuck's wrong with you?
Pancakes are pretty well. They're good enough to have a fucking religious festival about them, so they must be good.
I love crepe Suzette, and I love making crepe Suzette. It's so much fun. Anyway, let's listen to whatever Joy's crying about.
No, I've
Obviously losing her
decided fully
job.
we're ignoring what she has to say because she never has
Okay.
anything worthy to say. We're just going to talk about
Asian
pancakes.
Americans were being targeted, and not just black folks. That
They were
like it a
targeted
bit
by
custard.
blacks,
I
you
like-
moron.
immigrants
Just
who
black,
I-
black, blackity, black, 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 black. Okay, I got it.
Make a life and defended them. Or
Talk about how you're black more.
about what the president is doing that is.
I like the pancakes have a bit of custardiness to the batter in the middle, you know?
That is injurious to
like them to have a bit of girth to 'em.
defending books that people find inconvenient.
Are his pancakes actually good, Cole?
Hannah Jones put into our
Hey, go get yourself some pancakes. Support black business.
real founders. Whether it's talking about
I'm more impressed you can use a knife and fork at the same time. A lot of Yanks can't.
whether it's talking about Gaza.
I mean, he's not doing it well.
We as the American people
He uses
have
pen
a
grip and
right to
fork, which is a bit weird.
object- To have a right to object to little babies being bombed, and where
Bitch, you want to murder babies?
Nothing says like we
now we
want
care about
peace
the
quite like the
little
Biden
babies.
administration and the Obama administration, aka drip or drone.
The little babies that are dying, of which I support the mass murder of babies of my own race being fucking eviscerated by the U.S. government. At least, well, I mean, in terms of redlining and sectioning, and then of course we're the Planned Parenthood, which is a private organization, but heavily supported by the U.S. government, as we've even seen to be more extensive than previously thought.
I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things.
What the fuck are her
those
earrings?
things are of God.
Looks like she's got weights on them. Tires or
Those things
steering
are
wheel.
of God.
Yeah, she's clearly. She's clearly having a meltdown.
Lunatic.
She's gone nuts. I mean, she's been nuts.
What do you
forever,
expect? She's slowly turning into Nelson Mandela.
And you know, I'm
It really is a communist.
too, and those are the things that I was.
Oh, you're a church girl? Yeah, sure thing. Church of Satan.
Bitch, if you were
maybe.
near a church, you go on fire.
Exactly.
Of God, and so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Well, you can't be proud of your show. You ain't got no show no more.
I hate to break it to you, bitch, but your show ain't resurrected in 3 days.
It is a joyful time that you will not be on TV anymore. You are one hateful person. All you did was raise bait. All you did was tell lies. You were nothing but fake news. And you know, and Black History Month is almost over, so this is a great way to end it, getting rid of you.
I like the whole time he was talking, he was side-eyeing that egg, just thinking to himself, I better get this done quick so that it doesn't go cold.
Yeah, you're gonna get that egg.
Because I can't reheat that bitch, I got it just right.
So, Joy Reid was not the only person let go. MSNBC has let several people go. But Joy Reid is not, so she's not alone.
Almost all
and
of the people
Rachel
let go
Maddow,
are minorities.
Yeah, Rachel Maddow, though, being a lesbian?
Looking like a less flattering picture of Jerry Seinfeld.
Buy a mic with the money I save. Does my mic sound bad? Am I a little closer?
No, hers. In the clip.
Oh. Oh, yeah, hers.
Yes, it was awful.
Anyway, so Rachel Maddow, desperate to martyr herself. It really does. Desperate to martyr herself, decides to call her own bosses racists.
Show, the readout ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. There is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her.
Look at her. She can't keep a straight face while saying this.
I know, because, I love her so much.
That's a face that says, bye, bitch. I'm probably going to get your time slot.
So much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague. It is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime.
Oh, wow.
Both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows.
Why?
The implication there.
What
is
does that tell you?
Jesus, New York Post.
Also, the question that I want to ask is, why do you think they're being let go?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're insufferable and they cost the network money.
Yes, and nobody is watching them.
Well, yeah.
Also, they don't go to synagogue with the rest of you.
They're only there to exist there as the race and sex.
Yeah, and also
or sexuality that they are.
Maybe this might be the other reason. It's because if you constantly scream, "We need minorities, minorities, minorities," for literally no other reason other than you're trying to astroturf them in as some political pawn, and they're actually not fucking worthwhile watching, you will then notice after a while, hey, look, this experiment has failed. So which means all the people that you've been pushing that nobody fucking watches are suddenly no longer protected and therefore expendable. And so all of a sudden you're like, hey, look, why are all these like more white people on television? Yeah, because the minorities are shit and were never actually meritocratically selected in the first place. So it's going to be white boy summer for the next couple of months. Hooray, woo. It's going to be some good shit.
Yeah, hey, enjoy it. Before things go tits up or...
Jesse Lee Peterson didn't respond to this? That is interesting.
Who's responding to it? What?
No, Jesse Lee Peterson hasn't responded.
Oh, I hope he does. Sorry, let me get through some of these other super chats because I got
Great
distracted
White
by
Hope.
something.
Great White Hope, yes. Keza for £5 says, woke right or Trotsky scum. Trotskyism is Marxist in its origins and has been default position at the post-World War II narrative of the gay. Sure, if they're Trotskyists. Who is a woke right Trotskyist, though?
Scrump.
I guess so.
Scrump is more the
right
Leninist.
I was gonna say I thought he was more.
Scrump literally said be a right-wing Lenin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it means more like in the concept of taking power is admirable in the in the sort of power game sense. Like, yes, you have to admire him for that.
Well, it's the same. It's the same reason
talk a
why
big game and then
Lindsay
try to
thought
avoid
that.
Georgians.
Well, it's the same reason why Lindsay saw conservative or right wingers, whatever, pointing out things that Marx got right, and there's not a lot, but he did understand something about power, and going, "Oh, woke right. Wait, no, James, Marx was correct about. He got some things correct in his observations about power."
The thing that Lindsay cannot understand is that he is plagued by what you can call faction mind.
Yeah.
Which is that he cannot understand that someone from a faction that he doesn't like can actually say something that is objectively true.
Right.
Because he has this really weird conception of reality, which is that one faction must be right about everything, and any faction that isn't right is automatically wrong about everything, which is just like an absurdly stupid thing to say.
Yes, and the only faction that can be right is classical liberalism. So,
yes, which is cringing gay.
Yeah. Dear T.S. King for 20 says, I loved my corner of Florida as long as I've been alive. My paternal side of the family is from Pennsylvania since the 17th century. I don't know if I'd feel a connection to Harrisburg, but nowhere else in the USA is home to me. That's what I was saying, man. You do feel connections to a certain place. When I went home to West Virginia last time, even just being back in Maryland, even though I didn't move to Maryland until I was 11, it was, you feel connections to places. Kessa for £5 says, give me 5 minutes with Lindsay, and I'll make him realize he's a useful idiot, and the idea of woke right is as retarded as trans women, which biology regrets. I that's what Spoon was mentioning earlier, yeah. I think you probably could do that, because Amanda, you'd be shy for... It will be funny. For 10 says, India is just an idea. Anyone can be Indian. Rudyard Kipling was born in India. He is an Indian. Would any leftist be accepting of this logic? No. Why should we, right? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, sir. Exactly, though. They wouldn't be accepting of that from any other country. Kids for £5 says, Lindsay isn't aware black culture directly comes from the bastardization of 17th, 18th century North English Scottish culture, hence why they can't say ask. Yeah, I've had that. I've seen people say that.
Yeah, it's in black writings of white liberals.
Mm-hmm. Oh!
In Thomas Sowell's book,
that would be where I read that then, yeah. It's been a long time since I've read. Actually...
Presbyterianism has a lot to answer for.
I've read all of Sowell's books quite a while ago now. Mackay Arcanum for 10 says, how removed do you think one can be and still become English? For example, I'm a young Australian who grew up with my ties to English ancestry. What would happen if I spent the rest of my life in England? You'd never be English. But I'll tell you this, like, it doesn't mean that people are unwelcoming.
You got to give back the sheep, mate.
It's exactly like that guy I was talking about, who...
Appease your ancestors' crimes.
Fuck you. Yeah, you can never be from a place that you're not from. I mean, but it doesn't mean that you can't like living there and feel at home there, And it's, even though I certainly have no ancestry from Guernsey, when, like I said, my family obviously came from Europe originally.
By the way, just be very careful, because in some people's minds, that would be mine. The way to appease the wrongdoings of your ancestors would be to start re-enslaving people again. I'm just saying.
I ain't got the room for that. I've got trouble parking as it is.
Bana Yutsushai for 5 says, being born in a stable does not make one.
You're gonna let them have vehicles, Bill?
That's true, though. That's true.
Where else would I keep them?
Yes.
Fertilizer?
God damn it. Oh my god, you guys. Horwitz
Someone will have to go into the driveway either way.
Horwitz Pemberton Horwitz, sorry, just got to this, says, I heard the secret words, time for some Infometal. Sorry, just got to it. Let's see, what do we got? In terms of Infometal. We'll play that here a little bit while I'm getting to the rest of the Super Jazz. Infometal.
Oh, she's allowed to play Infometal. When I request Moon Man, I get shouted at.
That one, there's reasons. You know exactly why we can't play.
One day I'll learn bass just enough to play the DuckTales theme. That's all I need.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Seems good.
Can't be that difficult.
All right.
All right, where were we? Okay. Thank you, Horrid Talking Horrid. DRT is king for $50, says from Bridge, which is covered by Kersha. There are a lot of corporate heads that are digging in towards the woke order that are trying to bury the DEI in corporations, make it harder to remove, while tech oligarchs are positioning themselves against. Yeah, DRT, I think you're actually completely right. They're reorganizing, you know what I mean? This is pretty good Alex Jones rant. Gruldar for 2 says, Trevor just missed apartheid. Yeah, he apparently. Beard for 50 MX says, Kennedy is leave, Bonnie Ross is gone, RTD is probs gone, this year's getting better and better. Yeah. For another 50, Beard says, she has much value as an STD awareness float at a gay pride event.
Damn.
Joy Reid. Jewel Star for 10 says, the fact that you got canned on Black History Month shows they don't give a frick no more. I am enjoying Joy being out. Absolutely. The Slusher for 10 Canadian says, Dave Smith made a good point about Joy Reid. The fact she went to Harvard and spent 15 years having her own show proves how non-racist America is, given that she is a retard. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not just not racist. It is racist. It's racist in a way that is beneficial towards American blacks. And Beard for 50 MX says, if your descendants intermarry, at what point will they be? Well, okay, that's a good question. If Bill and I are able to have a child, they'd be born here, so they'd be Guernsey. Or Guernsey.
Only by virtue
Guernsey
that both my grandparents were from here.
I mean, that's different. Like,
if your grandparent if one of your grandparents at least is not from Guernsey, you never get citizenship.
I mean, I would want, obviously, them to come to America sometime. See where I grew up, you know? Well, yeah, Bill, what is right is, I mean, the language is Guernsey sauce, so, or in people, it's a, what is a, you just say Guernseyman?
Guernseyman,
right?
a Guern, Sarnian.
A Guern, yeah, okay. So yeah, they'd be a Guern, just like...
Or simply referred to as Norman on some occasions.
Yeah. So there's been some more spazzing out, though, of course, amongst the media. Don Lemon spurred out at Megyn Kelly. I haven't seen this yet. Spoon brought it up.
Neither have I, actually, so I'm kind of curious.
Oh, good, let's see.
My 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some...
So I guess Megyn Kelly went on a rant against Joy Reid.
By the way, does he have AIDS? He's gone to shit.
I mean, I've said it many times, but Don Lemon is evidence that black does, in fact, crack. I mean, like, as soon as Trump got into office, he really aged overnight.
And he started
like
becoming Puerto Rican.
Years. Yeah, he might have AIDS. He's gay, isn't he?
He's getting looking real yellow around the neck.
I mean, maybe he's got AIDS. I don't know. He looks like he does.
Years as a person of color. Go f*** yourself. Okay?
Wow, very journalistic integrity.
Don Lemon with some choice words for Megyn Kelly.
Are you going to the royal wedding?
I'm going to be a guest.
We're going to hang out.
I think that was it. That was it. This was the video that came up for it.
Is it
okay? Is that it? Is that really all it was?
I usually don't like to talk about her because she's one of those people. She thrives on it. She has built the second part of whatever of her career on being a troll.
I can't even put my head around this.
The ex-CNN anchor
all these
blasting
cuts. It should, yeah, was that just it? Him just saying that little bit of shit. Okay. Oh wait, looks like there's some more. So they're talking about Joy Reid.
No, there has to be.
Oh, here's it. Megyn Kelly said, "Remember when Joy Reid?"
It's because you're on Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah, but this is when I looked it up. This is the video that I found.
Well, you're
at least
Entertainment Tonight. There's not going to have any kind of journalistic integrity with that fucking thing.
No, but we can. Okay. Megyn Kelly said, "Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her? Who's crying now? Joy. Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television. And shame to
what's wrong with that?
She's right. She's right. We're letting her go. And so, okay, here we go. Here's Don Lemon.
The worst person on television was fired from NBC.
He's like
in the Today Show
he's fiddling with
a few
someone,
years
like,
ago,
he's
and that's
nervous as
Megyn
fuck.
Kelly.
It's all the cocaine.
That's the worst person who's not on television anymore.
What the hell are you talking
What a
about?
salty bitch.
Coming to
yeah, what?
They picked the clips where he looked his blackest to really highlight
Maybe, yeah.
that he's
Like,
having
he's
his
black,
melanin
guys.
drained out of him.
Yeah. What is he just doing?
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase, go f*** yourselves.
Don signs off his rant
is that
with
why?
some inspo from Megan herself.
Oh,
Let me just say to Megyn Kelly,
God,
in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go f yourself. Okay?
Oh God, he's such a loser.
50 years looking like Urkel.
Yeah, can Bill speak grenade sauce? He a
little
bit. A
bit.
couple words.
Unfortunately,
Oops,
we were
sorry.
not taught it growing up.
Yeah.
And I am dreadful with languages. I struggled horribly with French.
Yeah, it's
but
French.
I do have a rare Guernsey French dictionary. They're a bugger to get. You have to like order them like 3 months in advance from a charity shop on like one small, like literally tucked away in one of the shopping centres.
So along with Joy Reid, also Eamon Moyeldon, Jonathan
those fucking
Capehart,
enemies.
Katie Fang, and Jose Diaz-Balart are also
Those are
gone.
Those all just sounds like.
Well, they're all.
They sound like
apparently
restaurant
they're all
names.
non-white. Well, apparently they're all non-white too.
Of course they are. You can
So-
tell
and
because
you
no one
can-
understands
yeah.
what the fuck to pronounce any of those names.
So, yep.
Just viscerally ugly names.
Well, they're, of course, this is why MSNBC is racist. Let them eat each other. Good. Destroy yourselves. I don't care.
Have fun dissolving into infighting like every leftist coalition. When they
You
start
do
to lose.
realize if they fire all the non-white people, they won't be racist anymore because there's only whites working there.
Well, I guess so. Right. So
You can't accuse
of
them of being
course,
racist. There's no one here to be racist too.
True.
Great.
Yeah. Look.
Well,
all
they're
works
being
out.
unemployed, so.
So one of the big news things is that Elon Musk sent a bunch of emails to basically like the whole DOGE did,
Oh, yeah, I
asking
heard about
them
this.
to
This
what
is
did
great.
you do this week? And of course oh my gosh, the amount of seething and rage.
How is this
and
not like
piss
a
babying.
This is like a
They
performance
can't.
evaluation.
But they can't.
It's not even that.
No, it doesn't matter. The reality is they're upset because
You're being
they
treated like an
cannot
adult.
say what they did last week.
That's because they didn't do fucking anything.
They couldn't even tell you how they'd feel today if they didn't have fucking breakfast. What this
Exactly.
boils down to, this is actually a mercy. This is not what did you do this week so we know. This is we are about to find out what you did this week. Could you please explain yourself ahead of time so that you get actual word in. Like they say this is not a demanded thing. Like
We'll get to that because the original email said all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they've done last week. If you do not respond, it would be taken as a resignation. Now, the thing to be clear about here is that if you just didn't respond at all, that was what was being said. This has been clarified now that this is. I don't know if this was ever intended to actually fire them, but I do think that based on what Elon said after the fact, that it was intended to just get a read on things, basically to see, like, Trump did say you'd fire any person who didn't answer the email, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get fired if you can just say I didn't do anything, or it didn't meet some standard. They just wanted you to answer, right? Seems pretty obvious to me that the issue that they had was not answering the email at all, or if they were complaining about it. But the fact that this is an issue, at what job would you complain about your boss sending you an email saying, what did you do this week? If you can't write anything, you don't deserve to have that job.
You don't have a job, yeah.
Yeah, your job doesn't exist.
You get paid for your labor. If you can't describe your labor, why the fuck are you getting paid? Like, what the fuck?
They are pissed off not because of the one, they are incredulous they'd even be questioned.
Mhm.
But secondly, more importantly, this is them saying, we are about to find out what you did last week. Here is your opportunity to have your piece so that you can justify what so you can explain precisely what you were doing last week in case it's something that won't show up on paper. However, what we are seeing here is they don't even have the wherewithal to fucking lie.
Here's the reality. It doesn't matter how much power or money that Doge has. Elon Musk and Doge are not going to be able to fully vet or any of these emails, to be completely honest, to know if that's really what those people did. They're not going to be looking into it because it's going to be hundreds of thousands of emails if they sent it to every federal employee. The issue is respond. So he sent out another one.
Wait, an
You have a
iOS worker
second
got
chance
fired
to
from DOGE?
respond
That's
if
fucking
you
funny
don't.
shit.
Yeah. So basically, it was, and I'll just repeat what Elon said later: is he's checking to see if these people have a fucking pulse. Because as we're going to learn about the Social Security Administration, for example, they kept paying money to a bunch of dead people. Weird that the Democrats keep doing that. They really love dead people. I mean, they certainly love dead babies. Oof. Anyway, so that's all they were told to do. Just basically respond. Say "I" if you're still alive.
Sound off. Who's still alive?
Yeah. That's all this was. But, of course, they're fucking irate. I wanted to watch this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they and a lot of the reason why is because they seemingly couldn't say what they did last week. All they had to do was respond.
Tell us about this email and what it was like receiving it and what you all had
Oh
talked
my
about.
god, what was it like? Oh, how did
Jesus,
you
physiognomy on that
survive
thing.
the
Fucking hell,
email? I mean, is it a troon or is this a woman? I don't know. What are we thinking? Let's listen
She's Jewish.
to them talk. I heard them talk. I think
Right
they are.
hand side's Jewish with a perm.
Okay.
Look at the lips.
Not after getting it.
We're wondering about the right hand side. This is a federal employee on the right. That's a woman.
Saturday afternoon, about 3 p.m. And I felt absolutely infuriated getting this email with a demand within 48 hours to provide a response on what I did within the last week or face termination. This is clearly an attempt from Elon Musk to harass and bully and intimidate.
Oh my god. Being asked, what did you do, is harassment and intimidation. Woman, you cannot exist in society. I mean, look at the opulence and laziness of the West to have created such a person who believes that being asked, what did you do last week, is harassment and intimidation. If you
breathe,
feel threatened by being asked what you did at your job,
you don't deserve to have a job.
You're too crazy. You need to be in an institution.
Also, the fact that you're panicking at all, to me, is something you should be fired.
Force, which is...
Huh?
The fact that you're being asked at all, and this is your response, tells me you don't deserve to have a job.
part of his broader plan to gut the federal work.
Yeah.
It's mainly a pretense just so they can get rid of all the dead people.
And
not have to send big severance packages to their carcasses.
To be fair, from what I can tell, there's also a lot of alive people who seem to be dead as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Functionally.
And
it's called morphly challenge for a reason.
Public sector services
they're
to ensure that corporations like his own can get more profit. And that makes me really angry.
That makes me really angry. How is Elon Musk
I hate women.
enriching
I swear to
himself
God.
by you losing your job for being unable to answer the question,
of
what did you do last week? And of course, because they're the leftist.
Who is your daddy
mentality.
and what does he do? And don't tell us he works for Mossad because we know that.
God, what a loser.
Here he is,
sorry.
the Tism King.
The Tism King himself. Sorry, they had to start, Reuters had to start this. As soon as you click on the video or on the article, just starts with Elon doing his woo! So, the US agencies themselves started telling their workers not to reply. So there are so far more than 20,000 federal employees have been fired. 75,000 have accepted a buyout.
But before we continue, Soldier Goy, continue.
Oh my God.
That's
but
insane,
now
isn't it? 75,000 people have been fired. 75,000
75,000 left.
people.
They got paid off. 20,000 were fired. Basically, look here. Look, it was carrot and stick, right? Those people were offered the carrot, and it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. You can take this package and leave and get paid, or we're gonna fire you. So that's what's happening now. This was another round of, okay, what do you do here? And the answer is apparently nothing.
If this doesn't take, we're going to send him home in next
The
time.
question is harassment, right? So workers at the Departments of Defense, Homeland Security, Education and Commerce, as well as the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the National Institutes of Health, and the IRS were told to not respond pending further guidance. So it is also like National Centers for Environmental Information, an agency that manages environmental data, not part of the part of the Commerce Department. That's what. Oh no, they warrants further validation. So there, a whole bunch of these organizations, are just straight up said no, which basically means, I mean, they could end up getting a lot of their employees fired. Wouldn't you, I don't know, in the sake of self-preservation, just answer the email with something? Just make some bullshit up. He's asking
I like the way that
hundreds
they're
of thousands of
honorable
people to
enough to
answer
not
this
even
question.
lie.
Well, they're not honorable. I think
No.
they're too stupid.
They literally can't think of anything.
They're too uncreative. That's
and
what
they're
it
too
is.
paralyzed
Yeah.
by terror that they might actually be double checked upon.
Maybe.
They don't realise that obviously the DOGE has a finite amount of resources of manpower. They're just brain dead.
Yep.
More, it's they're incredulous they would even be asked.
That's what it is. It's that
Yeah.
they're used to being
dare
in power. They're like yes, they're an angry little
They
brat.
want to be
throwing a
aristocrats.
fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was literally about to
absolutely.
say that they are literally just like the aristocracy. A really
Yes.
lazy, shitty one.
Well, a really shitty aristocracy because they're superior at nothing.
What is your title? What?
And
You're a dick questioning me? Like, yes, you useless bitch. Now tell me what the fuck you do.
here is Elon clarifying that it was a pulse check.
Go ahead, please. Yeah. Mr. President, thank you, Mr. Musk. Are there about half of the government employees so far appear to have responded to your request for what they've been doing over the past week? Is there a timeline in place for next moves for people being fired, and when can the American people expect to see results of them?
Yes. Well, to be clear, I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse
Oh,
check
that's a great phrase in the chat
do you
there.
have a pulse?
The aristocracy of mediocrity.
Oh, absolutely.
That's fucking great.
Sotonar.
That's very
on
snappy.
point.
Well,
Right.
they've thought themselves the new priesthood.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Exactly.
question them is to question God himself.
They have their own church and academia. Absolutely.
Yes.
And they've got multiple
ends up being
churches.
fucking useless.
I do question the somewhat Elon's choice of clothing, the shirt, blazer, and ball cap.
At
He
least
kinda
get a hat
looks
that
like
fits, Elon.
yeah, he kind of looks
Yeah.
like best described as like business casual Unabomber.
Yeah, it's the come on. It's just so awkward.
He's got that thing like tightened up all the way as well.
Yeah, he's just such an awkward dude. But he's right. I mean,
He's
like,
hiding their severance packages underneath that hat, that's why.
Oh yeah.
It'd even be better if he just suddenly got taller.
Yeah, he said it's a pulse check.
You have a pulse and 2 neurons.
That's it. Can you answer an email?
Pulse and 2 neurons. You can reply to an email. This is,
It's not like they're calling you in for a review. Can you answer an email with some bullshit? I did my weekly paperwork. I answered my emails. I responded. I don't know.
Do you
I
at
don't
least
know what your
have
job
the
is.
wherewithal to bullshit effectively? Like, because guess what? Bullshitting is an important skill for the middle management of the fucking state.
Sure, yeah, I reorganized my filing system. I don't fucking know.
Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, who is the finest example of American politics? Who is the
Ron
man
Paul.
to look up to?
Ron Paul.
No, it's Huey Long.
Oh. Ron
He's a rogue, but he's a rogue for the people who
Yeah,
back
okay,
him up.
Huey Long. Okay.
You can be a rogue and bastard and still be beloved. Hell, look at any Guernsey politician. Like if you're from Guernsey and a politician you're liked, it's because you're a scumfuck, but in the right direction.
I don't know why I
Our
thought
chief
you were gonna-
minister was only in that job because he got kicked out for embezzling from the banks.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say Ned Kelly for some reason.
Oh yes, that great American politician, Ned Kelly.
No, but you were gonna relate it somewhere, someone somewhere else.
So wait, a great American politician that is shrewd but hated.
Not really.
Huey Long was great. He
Yeah.
he faked his own assassination attempt so he can put forward a emergency protocol, and then bumped through something that his voter base asked of him.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I would say as
Huey
far as like
Long's
someone
fault.
who's like a shrewd politician but he's hated, I would say is Mitch McConnell.
Well, fuck Mitch McConnell. He
Yeah,
is a
that's what
shrewd
I'm saying.
politician,
Like
but
he's hated, but he is
disgusting.
shrewd.
He's
I mean,
hated with
he
good reason.
he basically. I will give him credit for one thing. He did keep Merrick Garland off the fucking Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Oh, Rat King succulent Chinese meal. I know. That came up for some reason recently. Why did that come up? I just found out that guy died.
Yeah, it was late last year.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, King.
I thought that I remembered that, but then I looked it up and I was just thinking about that guy the other day and his succulent Chinese meal. Gentlemen, this is democracy
Rest in
made
power.
manifest. Yeah, rest in power, King.
I think not a high bar, is what I'm saying.
It's not a high bar, and if you're struggling with it, you should have a job.
But what we are trying to get to the bottom of is we think there are a number of people on the government payroll who are dead, which is probably why they can't respond.
So there came the real issue. We think there are people on the government payroll who are dead. Can you respond to and they took that shit personally.
And some people who are not real people, like they're literally fictional individuals that are collecting paychecks. Well, somebody's collecting paychecks on a fictional individual. So we're just literally trying to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email? Which I think is a reasonable expectation for the,
Not for
an
the
office
left.
job.
Yeah, not for the left. Come on. You're setting the bar way too high. However, again, even though they weren't gonna fire
You could copy paste the lyrics to "Boom Bye Bye" and
I know.
still keep your job.
I would really like to know what Carl Kolinsky is going to say about this, because I've been watching him lately thanks to Hot Bastard stream, and watching him just completely fucking melt down and become insane is really, really fun.
I did have that video from Jimmy Dore that you sent me a while ago.
I sent you a video from Jimmy?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
the one
about
where he's
Kolinsky.
slapping in the
Yeah.
face?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's great.
But even though, again, they weren't going to fire these people based on what was in the email, just based on whether or not they could respond to the email, this is funny.
Mr. President, can you clarify, hopefully once and for all, what your expectations are with this email to federal employees? What are you going to use that information for? And do you see it as voluntary, like OPM has said, or mandatory?
Yeah, well, it's somewhat voluntary, but it's also, if you don't answer, I guess you get fired. What it really
I'm
is,
still lost on that.
what it is do people exist? We have this massive government with millions of people, and nobody knows who's working for the government, who's not. So what they're doing is they're sending out a letter to everybody, and they're saying, what were the things you did last week?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they ask for 5. And if people are working, it's easy. I could tell you 5 things I did last week. I could tell you 5 things I did 6 weeks ago, right? If they're there and they're working, they're able to say they did 5 things during work.
If you can't say you didn't do 5 things in a week while you're getting paid a salary, sorry, get fucked. And it is just, all you had to do was answer the email. These people are just pathetic. They're all fucking children. But this was really funny.
You're right,
So
they are
this
all
guy-
fucking children.
I was about to say,
yeah.
I was literally about to say that.
Oh my
as well.
god, unfortunately, in both meanings of that sentence, Trump's economy guy, Kevin Hassett, took a fake reporter's soul, is how this was described.
So you're saying that everybody who's being let go was doing a bad job?
I'm saying that we're studying every agency and deciding who to let go and why. And we're doing so very rationally with a lot of support from analysis.
Because we're being told by a lot of people who have been let go at other agencies that they were told they were being dismissed because of poor performance, when in some cases they haven't even had a performance review yet because they've only been on the job a couple of months.
Yeah, I've never seen a person who was laid off for poor performance say that they were performing poorly. Okay.
And it just leaves! I mean, if is he wrong? No, he's completely fucking correct. There is nobody in the history of jobs who's been fired for poor performance. I mean, maybe, but for the majority of people who get fired for poor performance, they don't think they're doing anything wrong, or at least don't think they're getting caught. Probably, it's why they're doing it. I'm just nobody ever. These people who are lazy and fucking around on the job, yeah, they don't understand that kind of shit. I mean, so I think you got owned. This was kind of funny. Hang on, I want to do this in a way where. Don't look at I'm gonna scroll down past the headline really quickly, because I want to just. This is pretty funny, okay? Trump riled up his MAGA cult against California fire captain, calling her a DEI hire. Now she's been viciously murdered in her own town. Fire Captain Rebecca
They're at
Marody
home.
was found with multiple stab wounds. Let's listen to the media thing here.
There are shockwaves across CAL FIRE in the city of Ramona after one of their own was viciously stabbed to death.
So we'll show you the view earlier this afternoon as Sky Ranger 7 followed a procession of fire engines as the body of CAL FIRE Captain Becky Marody was taken to the medical examiner's office in Kearney Mesa. NBC7's Allison Ash is in Ramona this afternoon, where, Allison, a tough reality is setting in this afternoon.
Yeah, it really is. It has been an emotional day out here as family members and fellow firefighters learned that one of their own had been murdered in her own home. Behind me here, this is where Captain Becky Marody lived. But last night, this house became a crime scene when she was stabbed multiple times.
Uniform personnel.
1 second, guys.
The body of CAL FIRE Captain Becky Marody was removed from her Ramona home, surrounded by fellow...
Anyway, we get it. This woman was murdered. Sorry, I had to do something for a second, so I was just putting that on, letting that play. Because I also don't want you to read some of these things. They are a murderous cult. Trump called Fire Captain Rebecca Marody a DEI hire, telling his rabid cult supporters she was to blame for the California wildfires. Now she's been viciously murdered in her own home. Trump needs to be held accountable. Rebecca Marody's horrendous murder is on Trump and Republicans for fueling his vile hatred everywhere they turn, with every breath they take. Donald Trump, your actions and words have real-world consequences. Rebecca Marody's blood is on Trump fans' Musk and MAGA's hands. May she rest in peace. Except here's the thing. Okay. No, Marody is a fire captain of San Diego, a town which is 150 miles from Los Angeles. She drove 2 hours north to join the 7,500 people who fought the LA fires. Doesn't make her one of the people in charge there. Trump never even mentioned her. And let's get into the real fucking kicker for all of this. Trump killed this woman. Hey, she is a DEI hire.
Was.
Because she is a lesbian. Who do you think is the number one fucking suspect? I mean, I'm sorry to laugh. I'm laughing at... That's really mean. I'm sorry. I'm only laughing because these people jump to fucking conclusions.
Why are you
and they're
ever
so
apologizing for laughing?
Because this woman's dead, dude.
Who cares? She's gay and stupid.
Well, she's... I don't know her. You don't know her. Maybe she was a lovely person. You shouldn't... But, okay... Lesbians have the highest rate of interpartner violence of any group.
Yeah, so this is stereotypes manifesting. It's funny.
Yeah, it's just...
This person is responsible for really incompetent work and being involved in the fire service. I have absolutely no sympathy, none.
That's true. Oh, well, I don't know. Again, she was in San Diego, not LA. But, okay, sorry, guys.
Everything's great.
Sorry, I'm being soy. It is funny that they Trump murdered this woman, and then it's like, it was actually probably her lesbian wife or girlfriend, whatever. Fired feds given mere minutes to clear out a government building as Trump and Musk crackdown. Now this is funny. Okay, so already used the Monaco Operation Warp Speed to post directly to the site, effectively shuttered United States Agency of International Development, terminated employees or those placed on administrative leave, given a 15-minute window to claim their belongings and clear out of the Ronald Reagan building. Oh my god. Okay. Yep. This Thursday and Friday only, USAID staff will have the opportunity to retrieve their personal belongings from the RRB building, or RRB, Ronald Reagan building, during a designated date and time as provided below. The USAID missive began before almost ominously adding, staff should read this message carefully before attempting to retrieve their items from the building this week. Effectively, the USAID has provided several frames of time for ex-employees to come procure their belongings, but it won't be as simple as walking in and grabbing their stuff. Oh, thank you, Bill. What is this? Oh, vitamin drink. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I was asking Bill to get me a drink.
You banished me from the room whilst talking about lesbian murder.
I'm sorry. I didn't banish you from the room. I just asked if you could grab me a drink. Look, I'm sick as hell. There is a stairwell between me and downstairs, and I'm not. Bill is in much better health than me. He can do this. Bill.
Everybody thank Bill for me for getting me it's a vitamin water stuff.
Can you do something funny?
What's funny? What should I do?
Okay, just go to I want you to do 2 timestamps. Okay. Go to this one. Okay. And I want you to go to. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. Now, is what I want you to do.
Wait. Okay. One second. Let me make sure this works. Okay.
Yes.
So the other day,
there was no timestamp in that one.
Okay. I'm saying go to timestamp. Yeah, but I'm telling you to go one.
Oh.
Go to timestamp 7:58.
Okay. Sorry, my brain. 7:58. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Just let me just play one sentence.
What tile? Alright.
Hold on, yeah. Just let it play it.
cross the one line, which is you just can't do it on the internet. That one line is you can't be cringe.
Okay, stop.
You just can't be cringe.
Stop. Okay, stop. Now go to 5:39.
Okay. Can't be cringe, says Kyle.
Yeah, no, let me play.
Like, for a while there, I think the right was riding high, and they felt like, hey, bro, we're the cool kids, bro. We're the cool kids. We managed to make tax cuts for robber barons really cool, and being corporate slaves really cool, and doing imperialism, making that really cool, bro. We made it cool. They crossed the one line, which is you just can't do it on the internet. That one line is you can't be cringe.
Self-awareness, none. Fuck off.
I've never seen karma quite so instant as this.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go get more ice in my drink. I need a lap after that.
Life comes at you fast, Kyle.
He manages to have Nick Fuentes on the screen and do something that makes him gayer than Nick Fuentes.
Dude, Nick Fuentes is gayer than two dudes fucking, what is it?
It's gayer than 6 guys fucking 5 guys.
Yeah, it's gayer than 6 guys fucking got 5 guys, and somehow you're gayer than that, Kyle.
Jeez, this...
That's
I don't know
funny.
how on earth you're a white man in 2025 who still says the phrase bro and dog. It's like, jeez, cringe. How?
You're operating on such a layer of irony that you're basically undiscernible from someone who is actually...
And also trying to do an 80s robot dance during it. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
It reminds you of that ginger guy who had like a recreation of the JFK assassination but set to rap music. Just aggressively white dude just doing a little dance. It was actually great. It borders. It really does like do laps around parody.
I kind of just want to make fun of that.
Is this what?
Hang on,
Measures magnetic fields or
dipole moment.
All staff in their property will undergo magnetometer and X-ray machine screening upon entry. Staff will then be escorted to their workplace where they will be permitted to collect their personal items. So they just 15 minutes. Staff will be given approximately 15 minutes to complete this retrieval and must be finished removing their items within their time slot only. I mean, so they're getting just it is efficient government efficiency for sure. You're
basically saying we're checking you to make
sure
sure you're not sneaking in degaussing equipment.
Yeah,
I worked in government. I was working at Social
Steal
Security.
shit.
I installed their PCs, the actual physical installation. I could go in. I could go up to a computer. I could have it stripped down and the hard drive whipped out and then reassembled. My record's 12 seconds. That tells you how, like, 15 minutes is more than enough time to whip the fucking hard drive out for PC. But they're checking you on the way out because they're not fucking stupid.
And they're going to have an escort there while they're doing it. I mean that's
because they know this is the chance.
chance.
Like, if they're given leeway, they'll fucking cover shit up.
It's 15 minutes, and it's not an invasion of privacy to have somebody there. I mean, what are you going to have that's that private in your office? I mean, what? Like, what do people... pictures of family? That's like what normal people keep that's private in their office.
Bottles of
these
whiskey,
people are
12
lefties.
packs.
You know.
Horrific sex toys, you know, the usual stuff for these kinds of people.
Along with this, of course, Trump shut down the transgender sports stuff. That was one of the first things he did. And basically, a couple of states have said no. 3 states in particular have just said, no, we are not going to listen to what the president says. We're
which case, okay, get ready to fucking secede. But Attorney General Pam Bondi sent letters to officials in California, Maine, and Minnesota on Tuesday, warning that they must bar transgender students from women's sports or risk legal action. The Department of Justice will defend women and does not tolerate state officials who ignore federal law. We will leverage every legal option necessary to ensure state compliance with federal law and Trump's executive order. The letters followed Trump's EO, signed earlier this month, that barred transgender people from competing in women's sports. Since then, the Education Department has launched several investigations into trans sports participation policies, including in California, Maine, and Minnesota, which have laws or policies that recognize gender identity. The probe into Maine's policy was initiated Friday after Trump's public spat with Governor Janet Mills, we'll look into that, a Democrat over state policy at a meeting of governors at the White House, where the federal and state conflict, you get it. So basically they're not doing it. They're just being like, no, we're just not going to do it, basically, you know? So actually, do I have him getting into the argument with her? I don't not have that.
Whilst you look for that, here's a stat for you. First month questions, Biden, 141 questions total. Trump answered 1,009.
Jesus Christ,
Jesus.
Yeah. Let's make sure. I think I have
That's
this in a
one
minute.
they answered personally.
Let's see. I think, is it this one? Yeah, it's one of these. Okay, I think it's this one. I think I have this also in the docket, but I just want to make sure it's this.
2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports. Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue because you'll never win another race.
I mean,
And
he is right on that, and
he's
they are.
right, yeah.
He's right. It's a completely untenable position. And the thing is that Americans are actually quite liberal on this stuff. They did move. They got slowly warmed up to this stuff. I mean, when you think about it, the fact that 20 years ago, the idea of gay marriage was completely, still up in the air and highly contested for a majority of Americans.
By Democrats.
And now the majority of... Yeah, and now, yes, including Democrats. And now the majority of Republicans are in favor of gay marriage.
Biden himself was desegregation.
Yeah.
As also, both Obama and Hillary Clinton said marriage was men and women shit. Up until their constituents had moved,
Right.
which was totally organic and not by some powered down move ever.
What it boils down to is like this is the old expression like selling someone the rope to hang themselves. Like these idiots brought their own rope from home.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't no one needed to do a damn thing. Just like say something and it's like, yep.
Yep.
Just crazy. The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
The whitest state in the union.
Yeah, but of course one of the bluest. So here we go.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are
Well, it's
the
a federal
federal
law.
law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all. if you
Damn,
don't.
bitch.
And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should
I
be real.
don't even need to
Oh my
talk about the
God.
physiognomy at
Yes.
display from
Dude.
our representative from Maine there. My goodness.
When Trump
the way-
brings the energy back, it's so refreshing.
By the way,
Just,
I
see you
know
in
I
court.
know. By the way, this is why I have some arguments with typical Americans. Because Americans are always, oh look, state rights and all this shit. But the moment the federal government has someone that does something that you want, you're like, fuck yes, fucking abuse your power. Because they can recognize bullshit needs to be called out by someone that is higher up. That's how every fucking organization works. The plebs below you need to know their fucking place.
I mean, I
It's
am
just fact.
largely in favor of states' rights, but if if there's this
But if the
federal mandate
states
that
act
you
like a bunch of maggots, then the monarch needs to come and go, bitch,
I mean,
get
that's
in
the
fucking line.
purpose of having. That's
The
the purpose
executive.
of having a union, of having the federal government. That was the original purpose. In case some states went completely fucking insane, and for the betterment of the entire union. That and so that they were a
You want the common person to
collection,
whip them.
a federation of states that would agree with each other and probably not do insane shit that would harm the states near them. And this would be one of those things that could.
I'm in
cause
favor of a
potential
good white man beating the shit out of everyone.
I mean, I again,
That's the way the good
understand.
Lord intended it.
Look, I am very in favor of states'
No
rights.
relation.
I'm extremely in favor of states' rights. But
My name
there's
is
some
Reverend
shit
Caracas.
where
No relation.
it's time to act like adults. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm in
It
favor of
sounds
same
like
sex.
a great white man to return.
That's the pair of us, Bolden Doge and Uncle Rocket's impressions.
And if you want a perfect example of one of the politicians who is not listening to Trump, it's this one.
And breaking tonight, we are monitoring the situation at the White
Doesn't
House.
Miss Anthony, nobody
This is just automatically playing. I hate that. Don't auto play if it's not related to the story. I think it's related. Transgender politician who defeated 12-year-old girl in race defends trans inclusion in women's sports. Yeah, this is who's not listening. Here we have well, that's Caitlyn Jenner. Where's this person? Do they have any pictures of them? Okay, the reality is, listen to this. I don't think they have a picture of the person, but here we go. Nathaniel Morin, Canadian advisor to the Federal Minister of Women. Wait, is this like what? Oh, yeah. This is, this is in Canada. But this is the same type of fucking person. Wait, reference the U.S. policy. That's how this came up. Okay. So they reference the U.S. policy on trans inclusion. This is the kind of person who won't fucking listen. This is a politician in Canada, right?
It's going to be really funny when Saskatchewan secedes this year.
They recently competed in a marathon. Actually, maybe this article doesn't have as much information as the other one that was looking at. Oh, no. Yeah, the runner-up to Morin was a girl in the 10 to 12 age category. By the way, Morin came in first. Beat all of the other women running in the... Beat all of the women running in the marathon. If Morin competed in the men's category, the transgender runner would have come in 10th place amongst all male participants. So he can run to some degree, but he beat the brakes off all the women. The only person who came close was a 12-year-old. I'm sure he was very proud of himself.
He's a Canadian politician. He's been running from responsibility for his entire fucking life. Why would he stop running decently now?
So, yeah, actually, this was covered in the video. And it appears that access to the Hill page has been denied for some reason. I don't know why that is. Maybe I just copied it wrong. But it's the same thing where, no, it seems like that page is broken. They probably changed the title or something. Anyway, yeah, Trump's not going to pay him, or is threatening Maine at least, he's not going to give him federal funding. The AP has also been fucked, which is great to see, which is that the AP is not going to get special access to the White House anymore. Basically, the White House is saying they're opening themselves up to more independent journalists. And, in fact, a bunch of them were basically kicked out for being obnoxious. And then they started screeching about it. It's amazing.
As you all saw yesterday, a federal judge denied the Associated Press's emergency motion for a temporary restraining order against myself, our Deputy Chief of Staff Taylor Budowich, and our Chief of Staff Susie Wiles for our decision to remove the Associated Press from the White House press pool for certain and special events.
So it's the AP specifically, which, I mean, is pretty crazy, but it is funny. They went to a judge basically say, like, no, they're not allowed to say that we don't have access. Yeah, Biden didn't want any conservative outlets. That was fine. But now, no, it's our right. It's freedom of the press. This is, gentlemen, this is democracy made manifest for that guy's base. But dude, like, it's just, again, it's rules for thee and not for me. They will play the power politics when they have power and then cry that they're being oppressed when you do the same game back. I think it's time to stop. I think it's time to just be. I
hate that the right does that.
Yeah, don't be nice.
They just like, look, you don't have any more. Dude, I don't give a flying fuck what these people think.
Don't be nice.
Just be an absolute dickhead to them. It's like, no, this is what I'm going to do now. Fuck you, I don't give a crap what you think.
They want you dead. Why are we being nice to them?
Yes. Punish them.
Play by their own fucking rules. You set the fucking
make
standards.
them afraid of using those rules ever again.
Exactly.
Yes, I want the right to be. I actually want the right to be dictatorial. I don't want to this is no. We hold power now, and we're gonna make you a bitch. We are going to whip the shit out of you because you're a bunch of assholes.
Well, that's look what they did when they were in power.
Exactly.
They stripped away your right to bodily autonomy. Which I know say, but conservatives do that with abortion is not bodily autonomy. It's somebody else's body.
You're dealing with criminals. Why the hell are you trying to rehabilitate?
I know
them?
It's pointless. It's pointless. But if they want to play power politics, and they do, it's time to play power politics right the fuck back.
Yeah, simply just says I want vengeance. Yes, they are not going to learn. I wish.
I think vengeance is a dangerous thing to hold in your heart.
No. This is the thing. You have to understand this. These are retarded people. Retarded, stupid people only understand one thing. pain.
Mm.
Is you need to like literally physically manhandle these fucking people, because the only thing stupid people understand is pain.
Yeah, there's all kinds of
Pain gives
pain.
a good tolerance
There's-
of what not to do.
So you
The
know,
horrible
in terms-
punishment of a decent economy and world peace.
there's positive and negative punishments, right?
I prefer
So
negative
positive-
punishment.
Well, no, you don't. Let me explain what the difference is. A
All right.
positive punishment is adding something that the punished person does not like. So, for example, causing physical pain. That is adding something that didn't exist before. That is acting as a punishment. Or I don't know, forcing them into a prison. Right, that is a positive punishment because it's changing something about the condition. A negative punishment is taking away something they like. So in the these positive negative punishments are most commonly referred to in developmental psychology. So you like take the toy away from the child, right? You put them in timeout as a positive punishment. A negative punishment is, like a beating is a positive punishment, whereas a negative punishment is taking away a toy, taking away access to the computer or something like that. Those are taking something away. So there's two different types of punishment, and I think negative punishments can work. It doesn't have to be positive in terms of aggressive and violent. You can take things away from them. That's what's happening right now. Their toys are being taken away from them. I know, yeah, and you're probably right, but we'll see. We'll see how now again they think that this is basically another Shoah to the left, but I think this is a very soft-handed way of getting rid of these people, and that's why I am skeptical that it's going to work, because I think they're just going to skulk away.
So funny you should say that. It just reminded me of the joke I was going to make earlier, which is when someone mentioned the term Oshi, I just thought to myself, if Hololive can do it and they're basically fucking inept, I can do it too. We're a coastal island. So I'd like to announce the formal formation of Holocaust.
God damn it!
Any applicants who've got I do have someone who can make VTuber eggs if you're in need of a job.
My God. Anyway.
Upholding our decision to deny the Associated Press such privileged access reinforces the truth. And it reiterates what I said from this podium last week when that suit was filed. Asking the President of the United States questions in limited spaces such as the Oval Office in Air Force One is a privilege that unfortunately has only been granted to a few. It is not a legal right for all.
Exactly. Can you fucking imagine saying it's my right to have access to the president?
Yeah,
like Jesus Christ. It is
Which
not
I would
your
say,
right
Miss
at all.
Lewinsky, I realise you had a thing, but you've got to let it go.
The Trump administration has already proven to be the most transparent ever, and this president the most accessible in history. This is evident.
I'd say that's unquestionably true, given that he's on social media and stuff. He's by far. I mean, Joe Biden was not on social media. Barack Obama was not. I mean, he probably is, but those are not real accounts. Trump started as a in terms of his widespread popularity as a what do you call it? Wrestling and then the reality show stuff. And then of course, so he's always had the big social. I mean, he was a very early adopter of Twitter. He helped build Twitter.
President Trump's daily press conferences in the Oval Office, where he takes many questions from the journalists who have the honor and privilege of standing before the beautiful Resolute desk. The president and this entire White House are committed to ensuring the American people continue to receive this same level of historic transparency, access, and visibility. In fact, we want to double down and give even greater access to the American people. We want more outlets and new outlets to have a chance to take part in the press pool, to cover this administration's unprecedented achievements up close, front and center. As you all know—
Oh shit, Ace Detective. Trump's tweet about Barney Frank are legendary. This is the funniest shit of it. Even just thinking about it, Barney Frank looked disgusting in front of Congress today. Nipples in his blue shirt, nipples protruding. Very, very disrespectful. That one's ingrained in my hippocampus. Very, very disrespectful. In his blue shirt with his nipples protruding.
No, for decades, a group of DC-based journalists, the White House Correspondents Association, has long dictated which journalists get to ask questions of the President of the United States in these most intimate spaces. Not anymore. I am proud to announce that we are going to give the power back to the people who read your papers, who watch your television shows.
Nobody reads or watches your fucking dreck.
And who listen to your radio stations. Moving forward, the White House press pool will be determined by the White House press team. Legacy outlets who have participated in the press pool for decades will still be allowed to join, fear not, but we will also be offering the privilege to well-deserving outlets who have never been allowed to share in this awesome responsibility. Just like
You're gonna see Tim cast up? I wouldn't be surprised.
As long as they don't drive there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of independent, if you want to call it, social media type news outlets invited now.
We added a new media seat in this briefing room. Legacy media outlets who have been here for years will still participate in the pool, but new voices are going to be welcomed in as well. As part of these changes, we will continue the rotation amongst the
InfoWars, yes,
networks to ensure the president's remarks are heard far and wide around this world.
That's who I wanted.
We will add additional streaming services,
I want him to be
which
press
reach
secretary.
different audiences than traditional cable and
Oh
broadcast.
god, that'll be funny.
This is the ever-changing
And Brendan
landscape
Herrera
of the
as
media in the
ATF
United
director.
States today. We will continue to rotate a print pooler who has.
I mean, the rest of this is the same stuff. Like, I mean, it's just like boilerplate stuff. But I think that's the key part. Like, get fucked. So, yep. Of course, how do they respond? Friends, how do you think they dealt with this? You're a Nazi. AP reporter nailed over wild lie about DOGE, trots out Elon, a Nazi narrative in desperate attempt to distract from the fact that he's fucking banned. Because
is this all they
useless.
have?
Yep, you're a Nazi.
This is so boring.
Arm thing.
Also, you're gonna
You're
gonna normalize Nazism and make it sound based.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You do realize if you call everyone a Nazi and you're in the minority, you're gonna be surrounded by Nazis, and you're gonna look insane. That's a realization that I don't think they're.
It's a sad day when an Austrian is edified in that manner. They are a lesser race, after all.
I kind of take offense to that, Bill, because some of my favorite intellectuals are Austrians, and they are responsible for some of the only sane economic policies ever made.
Okay, as I've said every time I've proffered this opinion on the blight that is the Austrians, we give their economists a pass. They are legit some of the best. An entire nation comprised entirely of catastrophically autistic people.
So here's what happened. The Associated Press reported on FAA layoffs coming right after the collision of American Eagle flight, whatever, with the Black Hawk helicopter. Remember when that happened? Quite a different thing, however, in the Anglophone world's wired service of record to first claim that one of the fired FAA employees had begun receiving harassing messages from the official DOGE Facebook page. Is there one? I guess so. On his social media account because of criticism of Tesla and X, both run by Elon Musk. It's quite a different thing to note a few days later that the employee in question called Musk a Nazi because of pretty much debunked theory that he intentionally gave a Hail Hitler salute. It's a Roman salute, whatever, but he didn't. Whatever. Despite the fact that Doge doesn't even have a Facebook page. Okay, so I was right. And it's quite another thing still to change story number one, number two, via a stealth edit that wasn't acknowledged in the AP's corrected story. So as you can probably guess, this is a story blown way out of proportion because of the Washington, D.C. plane crash. On Friday, probationary workers were informed via email they had been terminated by the government. The employees, which numbered fewer than 400, including those who were involved in maintaining systems for radar landing and navigational maintenance aid, a source told AP. So this is a guy who was fired because he was a fuck-up, as the rest of them. Right?
Yeah, likely.
This is about the, whatever, and so this guy, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy didn't specify what roles they had cut, said in a Monday statement, 0 air traffic controllers and critical safety personnel were let go. Another Department of Transportation official said Monday that retained employees who perform critical safety functions. This is rather tame stuff, so the AP's Terra Cop relayed. Absent too much fact-checking, I can only assume a LinkedIn post by the Charles Spitzer Stadtlader, ace Charles Spitzer Stadtlader, telling of a horrid treatment that he'd received at the hands of DOGE. The reason one assumes is because it allegedly showed the firings went beyond those on their probationary period seemed to be redundant. One FAA employee was fired over the weekend, suggested he was targeted for his views on Tesla and X.
as a part
No one
of a
thinks
general
this.
probationary level sweep. Both are owned by Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. The official DOGE Facebook page started harassing me in my personal Facebook account after I criticized Tesla. So this guy just got trolled, talked shit to the AP, and they published it. He said, Elon Musk is bullying me on Facebook. Oh my god.
If you whine about being
And the
bullied on
AP
Facebook,
ran it.
that you should, Jesus fucking Christ, Ginger gave us like 50 Broken Crown memberships.
Whoa, holy
Jesus,
shit.
that's-
Oh my
Let's
god.
fucking
Ginger, holy shit. Thank you, man.
That is
Woo,
a
let's
lot
go.
of
There's
memberships.
get memberships for
All right,
everybody.
get a triangle. I
We do
gotta
have
give some
some,
fucking PPP energy.
Yeah, let's fucking go. We do have Broken Crown emotes. I think actually now too it'll let us. I think we have enough people that I can add more emotes. I'll do maybe a poll like on the Discord. If you're not a member of our Discord, sorry, it's just easier to organize things that way. If you're not a member, you can become a member on our Discord, and I'll put up a poll in a couple, probably not tonight, but in a couple of days, for like what kinds of new emotes you'd like to see on the YouTube channel, so you can have fun with silly emotes. It's the least thing I could do to think of. There's also like the top chat goal. We're not involved in that. You've probably seen a lot of streamers using that, where it's like they set a goal and then do something for it. We're not in that program for whatever reason. I can maybe guess, but I don't want to be conspiratorial. I actually think YouTube has treated our channel very fairly for the most part. But thank you again so much, Ginger. That's fucking awesome. Thank you. Very, very much appreciated. Anywho, this guy, he's a loser. He got bullied by Elon Musk on Facebook and AP. This is why you're not invited. This is why you don't get to talk to the president, because you're stupid.
There's something I don't understand about Elon Musk is people think he's such a nerdy loser, but for some bizarre reason, when he shits on them, they go completely apeshit.
I know.
I don't know why. If he's such like a dorky loser, why does him kicking the shit out of you matter?
I think it's just they get flashbacks to the one time that the weird kid in class mocked them.
Yeah.
Or like the fat obese kid like kicked the shit out of him because he actually's got some strength.
That really was like the 2 days in Tub's entire experience at school that actually made him smile. One, shot put at the sports festival where he fucking caned it, and two, the time he snapped, it's like, oh, this is gonna feel good, but I'm gonna fucking raise merry hell out of this.
I want to also, this is funny, I want to show you the competence of the White House, press corps. People who are given this privilege to speak to Donald Trump. He is going to go off some of the things that they found over the last month and a half, a month that Trump's been been in office. Has it been a month and 1 week that Trump's been president? All the shit that they've found of just incomprehensible levels of government waste. And they are speechless. So much shit to talk on Twitter. So much whining to do. But what are you going to say about this?
It's a very sad situation. Yeah, please.
Wait, so you get
in a court filing, the White House said that
Elon Musk is not a DOGE employee and has no authority to make decisions. Can you clarify for us?
Well, Elon Musk, yeah, Elon is, to me, a patriot. So, you could call him an employee, you could call him a consultant, you could call him whatever you want. But he's a patriot. I mean, look at the kind of things. I just said, just write it down, just in case that question got asked, right? And which, I'm surprised it took so long, actually. But you know what? Ukraine's a bigger deal because people are dying by the thousands a week, thousands. But look at this, from 90 to 99, Social Security, 6,054,000 people. Well, that's okay. Maybe that's possible. 90 to 99, maybe it's possible. It's a lot of people, though, at that. But people that live to 100 to 109, 4,734,000. Wow, that's a lot. That means over 100 years old. They're 4 million people? I don't know.
4 million people over 100 years old.
I don't believe
That's
that.
a lot. Hard to believe. I mean, my grandmother lived to be into her hundreds. But, that's old. My grandmother lived to be...
It's not over, I can tell you.
Was my grandmother 108 or 109? She was damn... Was she that old?
Friend of mine's grandma lived to 100.
Dad, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I can't remember how old grandma was.
I don't believe there's 20,000 Americans that are over 100.
That is very rare.
If it's over 1,000, I'd be astounded.
It's very rare to see people live particularly to 109. But yeah, so there's 4 million? Okay, but wait, it doesn't stop there.
I don't know too many. I know people that are doing great in their 90s, but not too many people over 100. But over 120, from 120 years old, people that are 120 years old up to 129, 3,472,000 people. What?
There are not 3 million people. I'm not sure if it's 4 million. Under the age of 110, between 100 and 110. But I can damn SL tell you
Oldest
that
human in
there
history, 122.
Yeah, that there aren't 3 million Americans between the ages of 120 and 129.
Wow. You know, that can't possibly be, because the record is like, I think it's one person, a woman, lived to 127, but they have 3,472. Okay, but now we're going really.
3,000, sorry.
People from 130 years old to 139-year-old. 3,936,000.
No, it was another 3 million.
Wow.
You said 3,000.
I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now. People from 140 years old to 149 years old, 3,542,000.
Another 3 million.
140 years
Isn't it
old.
interesting that it appears to be almost the exact same number every time? A
Always
number around
in
3 million?
String in numbers that are, common to numerology.
Oh.
And beyond. Now we're really going, because we're looking to break the record by 25 years. People from 150 years old to 159 years old, 1,345,000. These are by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well. They're super. I asked Elon, who are these DOGE people? He said they're super brilliant computer people and they love the country. It's simple. Wait a minute. People from 160 years old to 169 years,
a bunch of dorks we hide out of
160-year-old
Hyderabad.
people. 170 to 179,000, 6,087. But now, let's go into the real numbers. From 200 to 209 years old, 879 people.
I mean, like, it's
From
just so
210 years
ridiculous.
old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From
Like, you can tell how embarrassed they are. Like, you know what I mean? They're fucking ashamed of this. Having to sit here and listen to him go through how many millions and millions of Americans who are clearly don't exist are still on the books.
There are not even
receiving
that many
government aid.
people in the Bible that lived that long.
Like, because it's like when a little kid gets caught,
And in the
they're like, and they're smiling because they can't help themselves. They know they got caught.
This isn't the cookie jar. This is the piss drawer. This is an act of stupidity so remarkable it defies simplicity of I wanted a biscuit. No, this is the piss drawer.
Well, it's more like the cookie vat.
Yeah.
This is like finding that the child has stolen the ingredients to a cake and is sourdough startering it in a drawer in their room
for 5 years.
Oh my god. Yeah.
No, since and it's been in the room since the last, the kid previous to it. This one keep being in that room before being moved out.
Multiple generations.
Yeah, I think, was it Methuselah 800 years old or something like that? So you were reaching Methuselah tier. How old was Methuselah? I actually don't know. I don't remember.
Well, you got hard locked to 120 after the flood.
I said 1,000. So 169. So we're not okay. So we're not quite Methuselah level, but
you had to be in the Old Testament.
Yeah, Moses was 120. These people, Abraham 175. So yeah, these people are.
It wasn't the flood.
Old,
it was
old school, Old Testament people. A lot of them in the U.S.
Years old to 229 years old, 1,039, and then you have two people from 240 years old to 249 years old, one person, and there's one person that's 360 years old.
It's older than the nation by an order of.
That's just that. And then, where's the money being spent? Right? Let's go into that for just a second.
It's like
520.
It is exactly like you caught the child stealing something or whatever, doing something wrong. They're standing there smiling because they know they got caught, and they don't really know. It's called Duper's Delight or something, but it's not quite Duper's Delight, because that Duper's Delight is when you've gotten away with it. It's that awkward smile. But also, much like a child, he's forcing them to stand there in silence as he lists that shit off to them.
There's a person over 350 years old. Keep in mind, the nation is only 248.
Right. Interesting.
So this motherfucker was impossibly old when the nation got founded.
Right.
This old bitch was there when they signed it. Yeah. He was too old to fight.
For a consultant.
Yeah.
on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, it's nice, $25 million to go into Colombia.
Sorry, it's probably because I'm a bit away from my
something
mic.
that nobody ever heard of.
Sorrantos. I'll move back
$40
towards
million
it.
to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place to
That's
research
swimming
and
just to
drive
get
social
those bums
and
to
behavior
work.
change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive
Mental
numbers of
challenges,
things that
what?
nobody ever heard
To
of.
developmental challenges? I think you said that
for
wrong.
Mozambique.
But then again, I don't know. Maybe he did say that right, and it was to develop mental challenges.
Voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for
$10
circumcision.
million for circumcisions. Oy vey.
That's a lot of
In another
cigar
country.
cutters.
$9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can we teach
You're
them
going to get
about
those Cambodian youths.
enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of
But why does Prague need any money?
people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know,
Thank
2
you,
days
sir.
ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about, like, voter turnout here? Oh, we've done that, I guess. We did $500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes.
Uh-huh.
$20 million for fiscal.
I love how he just throws shit out and keeps going.
In Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud.
It is.
$19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa.
There you go. That's just for you, Spoon. For inclusive democracies. What do you think that
to
means?
Mali, literally one of the richest African nations in terms of resources. Like the Malian Empire.
$1 for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they? $2 million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo.
What the fuck?
And Eskali.
This is nothing.
We're talking about
This is all. This
hundreds of
hundreds of billions of dollars on bullshit. This all just lines their pockets. I mean, god damn. Like when people mock things like feminist, college classes being like feminist critical dance communism or something. I mean, like it sounds like that. It's word salad gobbledygook. None of this is anything. It's all fake bullshit.
The trick is to make it look on paper like it would be more effort to look into than it would actually say.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just like, oh man, it's so much shit. And that's the whole problem. There's so much of it that it's like, look, our own daily lives are like this, right? You see it all the time with people who have, I've been watching a lot of financial audit recently. I know I said that before, but it's, but it could happen to all of us where, the most clear example, the monthly subscription services, right? You want to watch a movie and it's only on, I don't know, Disney Plus or HBO or whatever. And Bill and I watch a lot of TV shows together, partly because I've been really sick. We watched all of Scrubs. I don't know what we're watching.
It would have been really appreciated if we had maybe had a break between seasons.
Yeah, I know. We need to find a new show to binge. But anywho, the point is that like
Last Kingdom.
it's very. Yeah, I need to catch up on the new seasons. Actually, Bill, we should watch it together. It's really good. I'd like to
Sorry,
rewatch the early seasons. Last Kingdom.
Have you not seen that, Bill?
Oh,
It's
the guy. It's done by the same guy who made Sharp, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, same author.
I'd rather just watch Sharp.
I mean, we could watch Sharp too. Anyway, my point is that it's just more convenient to click, okay, I'll give you $1 or whatever, I'll sign up for your thing, whatever. Then you forget about it, and you just end up with all of these services that you're getting charged for, and it quickly amounts up. So it's basically like that, though, where you notice also that sometimes those companies, they'll tack on additional fees. They'll raise the price. They don't tell you, or maybe they sent you an email or something. I'm sure they have to legally do that. But no one fucking notices. And by the time that you do start to notice, you've got so much shit. You have to dig through your fucking... I've had to do it before, where it's just like I found old services that I used to use for video editing that I hadn't used in years, that I was still paying for subscriptions to.
I know, they're mostly on my fucking car.
No, this was a while ago, and I come on, I bought you Chinese tonight. Love you.
I bought you sooner.
I know.
I could, by the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're doing it. But when I saw the Social Security numbers, I said, wow, that's really something. So we have, let's just go above 100 years old. We have millions and millions of people over 100 years old. Everybody knows that's not so. We have a very corrupt country, and it's a sad thing to say, but we're figuring it out. Now, the good thing about Social Security and what I read is if you take all of those numbers off, because they're obviously fraudulent or incompetent, but if you take all of those millions of people off Social Security, all of a sudden we have a very powerful Social Security with people that are 80 and 70 and 90, but not 200 years old. So it's a very positive thing. How about over here? Yeah, please.
Your reaction to Michelle K.
They moved on to a different topic there at the end, though. Is what I thought was interesting. The persons I asked him about something different. I don't think they want to. They don't want to ask about this. They do not want to ask about this, and they sat there like a bunch of kids in trouble, getting scolded by their dad, and I enjoyed that. Whoops. So there was going to be a large-scale ICE raid in LA, but a memo got leaked saying that it was going to happen. I wonder who could have done that. Well, somebody leaked it out so that, all of the illegal immigrants in the LA area could go into hiding, essentially. Ruined the raid. That's obviously, again, you've got deep corruption that somebody, probably within ICE, sounds of it, leaked this information to basically tip off the illegals. Who, again, are here illegally. They have committed a crime by coming into this country illegally. By definition.
Fully under the law.
So, Kristi Noem, who I'm, of course, have had pretty positive things to say about in the past, is trying to find the leakers in the Department of Homeland Security.
Do you have an update? Are we finding any of the people that are responsible for tipping off these gang members or cartel members that are in the country illegally and hence putting ICE officials' lives in jeopardy because they lose the element of surprise? Any update in terms of who's been tipping them off?
Absolutely, Sean. I have found some leakers. We are continuing to get more. They will be fired. There will be consequences. And remember, when they leak information to the press in order to blow an op, they are putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. They are risking their lives and putting their families in the position where they have to live without those individuals any further. So you bet.
They're actually not just putting the officers' lives in danger. They've now got these people scared. They think that they're going to, be deported. So I bet a lot of them go and do a bunch of crimes. You know what I mean? They're now like caged animals, so they're getting scared. I bet they go and hurt other people too, out of desperation, out of fear. So it's not just the officers, it's regular Americans who are always at risk from these. Look, you have started your existence here as a criminal. Why would I not expect you to commit other crimes? I think that's just logical. Sorry. And so, yeah, it sounds like the DHS is going to be investigating ICE. It sounds like they've already found some people. And I hope they get blasted, put on blast for this. It's also, Haitians had, apparently is the Hill just blocked? Why can I not access the Hill? I don't know. I was the other website, it was another Hill article I couldn't bring up. The DHS has revoked Haitians' temporary protected status, and 500,000 Haitians are now open to deportation. That's the TLDR of it. The Social Security Commissioner has resigned after disputing with them, getting in a little fight with Elon. Yep. That's about it.
So fuck with South Africans.
I mean, it was just, all that
Especially when
stuff
there's
was
money
just
involved.
exactly, these were the numbers that Trump was going over. These were the exact numbers. This is Social Security Administration. And, yeah. Here we go. Is this the Caroline Levitt person? Where's the, yeah, this is her talking about it. Caroline Levitt, who is, or Levitt, who is quite pretty. But yeah, so she's gone now. The, Commissioner of Social Security Administration, bye! Don't let the door hit you on the way out. 600 million has been cut from diversity in education to hire diverse teacher training grants. This is literally a fucking indoctrination program. 600 million to teach critical race theory, DEI, social justice activism, anti-racism, white privilege, and white supremacy.
And Jewish subversion.
Over $500 million pissed away of your money to teach your children to hate themselves.
Yep.
And to teach other people's children to want to kill them in the fucking street.
Yep. So this was, again, systematic inequities, e.g. racism, critically reassess their own practices. Building cultural competence, dismantling racial bias, centering equality in the class. Again, this is all this word salad shit. Where none of this has any. This is not what this stuff does. It is not about centering equity. Well, maybe it is about centering equity, which is not equality, of course. That is people being treated differently based on what they deserve, right? Which you define however you feel. Acknowledging and responding to systematic forms of oppression. So yeah, $600 million a year. Over $500 million being spent on this shit. In fact, and this is interesting, $2 billion, it looks like, was earmarked for Stacey Abrams' linked group.
That's mainly to feed her, by the way.
Well, I'm sure it does cost a lot. I mean, she requires a full trough to maintain that physique. But of course, Stacey Abrams has been one of Trump's most vocal critics. Tried to, wants him locked up, all that stuff. She's just a horrible, vile person. The DOGE discovered a $2 billion in tax funds set aside for a fledgling nonprofit linked to perennial Georgia Democrat candidate Stacey Abrams. The EPA, under the Biden admin, awarded Power Forward Communities the grant in April of 2024 as part of the agency's Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund program. Power Forward Communities received the Green Energy Grant despite the fact that it was founded months earlier in late 2023 and never managed anywhere near the grant's dollar figure. It reported just $100 in total revenue during its first 3 months in operation. And they gave it $2 billion.
God damn it, Vex.
Huh?
Vex is in the chat trolling me.
Oh
She's
no,
always
you getting
one
trolled.
to do.
Oh, Spoon gets trolled. Spoon gets trolled. Hello, Vex. Oh
It's
my.
her favorite pastime.
It's fun. It is fun to troll him. But speaking of trolling, okay, so Stacey Abrams, horrible bitch, who goes after Trump, basically got $2 billion paid to her nonprofit that made $100. In other words, this is a slush fund. Oh, come on. Let's be real. You have an organization that has $100 in the bank and you give it a $2 billion grant. That is payment. That is not for your stupid energy nonprofit. Let's get fucking
This means that the documents around MK Ultra were more transparent and honest with what they were pissing the money away on. At least they admitted when they just made a slush fund for a bribe.
Right. However, speaking of trolling, Trump does do a little trolling as he is wont to. Trump is looking to sell prominent federal buildings in San Francisco, San Bruno. He's coming after California. Specifically, what he wants to do is sell the Nancy Pelosi federal building on 7th Street and the century-old building at 50 United Nations Plaza. Trump admin says it will save money by avoiding maintenance on buildings, selling the properties, then leasing office space for federal workers. So the Nancy Pelosi he's gonna have the federal government sell off the Nancy Pelosi federal building.
When I think of a place I gotta say, Nancy Pelosi must really, really treat her housing commission well to get all this shit named after her. After all, I remember, who was it she put in the housing commission again illegally? Oh yeah, Jim Jones.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, Kool-Aid, like Flavor Aid and Cyanide, Jim Jones. Yeah. If you're wondering where he got his start, Nancy Pelosi illegally made him the housing commissioner of San Francisco back in the 70s.
Yeah. Let me get through a couple more things because we are running late tonight, but we
I'm
also
required by law to bring that up every time that fucking
I know you are.
brought up.
This is the other. So there's still a lot left to do, but it does look like some things are getting done. Now, of course, there's the opposite, which is we've seen a little bit of already, which is the rage for the machine. So this was in a secret NSA chat room. NSA DNI and Spacecom officials claim that Tulsi Gabbard is, quote, fervently anti-queer, a Russian agent, and a member of the MAGA cult. So these employees, including at least one they/them, are attempting to undermine Gabbard from within. So here's she's fervently anti-queer. What's up, all? Oh my God! Look at LGBTQA. This is the fucking NSA. This is the NSA.
You know, the same organization where some like femcel-looking fucking case was stealing dick pics from people's computers using their surveillance software. Also, what is up all? Who the fuck puts a full what is up, like a full-on fellow kids maneuver in a casual conversation? In what is like this? Is it just me or is this not just a fucking Discord?
She's defended Assad's killing of her own people. It belongs to a cult, too, if you count MAGA. What's the other cult? Oh, Christianity? She belongs to 2 cults? What's the other cult? I'm curious.
Is Gabbard considered Christian? Wasn't she a Hindu growing up?
Wait, what is Gabbard? I don't know. I know she was what? Yeah, she is Hindu. So they can't be saying that. They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare call. Yeah, she's Hindu.
Unless the NSA has a really big grudge for getting about the incoming DOGE, which is probably comprised substantially of Indian people.
What did they mean by she's in 2 cults? Sorry, that's just my curiosity.
By the way, Hinduism was invented by a white man. it's.
I can't. It's just hilarious that the NSA is having these little Discord conversations in their LGBTQA chat.
Well, if you weren't getting excited before.
Anti-queer. Russian agent IMO. Oh my God. NSA chat. Yeah, do you feel secure yet? This is great. I love. Why do they let him on here, Spoon? Like, why?
Me? I don't know why.
No, why did they let Scott? Wait, you know why you're on. Why did they let Scott Jennings on CNN? I know he brings in ratings because, I guess it's only people who watch CNN. Is it some kind of masochistic thing? They want to see themselves get owned? I don't know why they have him on. This is like this every week.
But if I may address one issue. You just denigrated Bongino's law enforcement credentials. He was a cop.
Okay, so service. Yeah, they're screaming and crying about Dan Bongino being appointed deputy director of the FBI. Again, but yeah, Scott's going to point out the obvious here.
They can't complain that he's white because he's not.
Well, okay, Italian.
Agent, you denigrated his academic credentials. He has a master's degree.
Just because he was a police officer doesn't make him qualified to run a 30.
If he has you apparently questioned his academic bona fides. Do you have a master's degree? I mean, I do. Do you, bitch?
Just out of curiosity, do you have any idea what the qualifications are to run his position? No, then shut the fuck up. Your opinion means absolutely jack shit.
Yep.
1,000 person, $11 billion.
She could whole life, and I wouldn't give a shit what she says.
True.
You know what does?
Agency, just like Pete Hegseth.
But you know what does? Because he
National Guardsman or everyone doesn't either. Thank you for your service.
The confidence and the pleasure of the president.
And I'm sorry that
terrible. And I'm sorry that you are not yet over the outcome of the election.
The president's terrible. His judgment's god awful. Okay, cry about it. It's all you can do. Cry some more, and that's all you can do. Cry about it. Keep going, cry.
No, look at what's happening to our country, and I'll never be over.
Things are getting better. That's the thing.
This is dismantling our democracy.
This is the president appointing the deputy FBI director is not an abuse of democracy.
Now, I don't think the FBI should exist, okay? I think the idea of federal police is very disconcerting. I mean, you do have the Army, but the amount of federal police agencies that the United States has is disgusting, and they all basically operate with impunity. So, and just able to get away with all their clandestine shit, which I don't like. No, I don't support that at all. But that's absolutely the president's ability. It's within his power to appoint Dan Bongino to that role.
And you guys are okay with it.
Who had a city that was smaller than the amount of people that live on this block, and he was the Secretary of Transportation. You had the guy who was stealing luggage. I mean, I think anyone who's defending the Biden administration.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot about the weird luggage thief, but yeah.
This is the FBI.
So,
right.
But that person was only in charge of. Spoon, that person who stole the luggage was only in charge of nuclear energy. This is the FBI. Something actually important. What the fuck?
What does that even mean? Oh, this is the FBI. So fucking what?
Well, let's see what she says.
This is someone who has a career in law enforcement for many years.
Does Dan Bongino have the qualifications to be the second person in charge of the FBI?
Yes. He has law enforcement. He has academic. And again, let me just stress this. I've mentioned this before.
You stack up
they
his
serve at the pleasure of the president.
If you want him to answer his question, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Every question is that Donald Trump wants it, so therefore it is good.
And he's the fucking president, so he's allowed to.
He's the president. That's his little job. You fucking moron.
Didn't I say I wanted to be a Fed at some point? Oh yeah, I did. That was my first kind of thought, is I wanted to work for one of the Fed agencies and
should have been a red flag to me, to be honest.
I didn't know what I wanted. I knew I wanted to do something with psychology, maybe.
So just be listless like the rest of us were at that age.
Political appointments?
But
yes.
when we look at, we're talking about people who are qualified and not, and you look at his resume and compare it to Republican and Democrat nominees for that same position, is he qualified?
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm not sure all the people that have been.
Actually, that's not true.
This is supposed to be a position that is supposed to be neutral. Why the fucking hell is your stupid ass involved in politics?
Right, it's not supposed to be neutral. When did this become neutral? And this is, again, the game they play. Oh, the Republicans, you have to be neutral. You have to be fair. You have to come to the table with us. But they don't do that. So again, what's the point? What's the point? No, I was never a Fed. When I was like 18, I wanted to join I was thinking about like joining a letter agency. And originally my goal was to go into like poli-sci. I went into communication. Because I was playing like poli-sci because I wanted to work for the government. My dad works was a lifelong federal. I mean, he's retired. He's not dead, thank God. But he worked for the Social Security Administration. Speaking of, for 40-something years. So I didn't grow up hating the federal. And by the way, my dad hates the federal government. You know who hates the federal government? A lot of federal employees. I'll put it that way. I mean, I put Ron Swanson in the thumbnail.
Zoinked out their brain to even know where they are.
Slash it. Oh my God. Also, I hate that I might have to say that look, I don't agree with Hassan Piker on anything, but dude, fuck Dan Crenshaw, neocon bitch. Listen to this shit.
Have you ever met Tucker?
If I ever meet Tucker Carlson, I'll fucking kill him. What a loser. Dude, he's so salty. What a salty bitch.
Psychopathic.
Salty bitch. Yeah. This was funny in terms of...
It's also very hard to be intimidating when you're dressed like the 10th Doctor, but have the depth perception of a Dalek.
Yeah. So Trump joked that he was going to give himself a Medal of Honor. It was a very obvious joke. I got out of a plane and I actually asked people, I said, "Excuse me, I was very brave sitting in that cockpit. Am I allowed to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor?" Trump said in a video posted on YouTube, drawing laughter from the audience.
I think he should actually do it, and he should be given the medal by a Trump impersonator so as to recreate the Obama medal.
Yeah.
meme.
Let's see. Segment began around the 33. Let's see. 33, 51, just so we can hear him say it, I guess. Whoops.
200, and I'm saying, man, there's nothing out there. And then he goes, boom, perfect landing right on this thing. There are no lights on the runway. There's no,
he's talking about,
I don't know how the hell they do it, but I'm sure as hell glad we had somebody that knows how to fly. But they didn't want to have any lights because they didn't want the enemy. After spending, years and trillions of dollars, we have to land with Air Force One with no lights on the runway. But they were incredible people. And then I got out of the plane and I actually asked my people, I said, excuse me, I was very brave sitting in that cockpit. Am I allowed to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor? And they said, I don't think so, sir. I said, well, I felt I was extremely brave.
This is such an obvious how? People are laughing. He's reading it with the cadence of a joke. It is clearly a fucking joke. But of course, this is so effing weird. Trump says he deserves to award himself. He was brave enough to fly on an airplane. Oh my God, they're so unfun.
To be fair, with the state of Boeing's production record recently, I think it is pretty brave to get in one of those fucking things.
Imagine saying this after Biden. He sounds like one of my patients with beginning stages of dementia. Yeah, Trump does, not Biden. Okay, Canuck. It's another fucking Canadian.
Okay,
oh my
yeah, it's
God.
so your patients with early stage dementia. So with Canadian healthcare, they're not going to be your patients for much longer, are they?
Right, yeah. It's weird that Trump's allowed to speak utter nonsense to a room full of supposedly educated, intelligent people. Like, they're so... Oh, old fool is losing his marbles. Oh my, I'm not a Trump fan. But you're saying that in just for comical effect. At least, I guess
I'm not
one
a Trump
of them
fan.
got it.
You didn't have to say you weren't a Trump fan. We could tell by the fucking cat profile picture.
Right. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just it's so pathetic. Some of them have not gotten the memo that they're supposed to stop this shit. So this Governor Tony Evers has said that he wants to change the word mother into inseminated person, which I've heard a bunch of these terms over the years. That might be the worst. I don't know, besides the hateful troon slurs for regular people.
It's technical language to refer to them as cream pie-e.
Right.
As opposed to cream pie-er.
That's Trump. What's the Obama giving himself a medal? Yeah. Giving himself. And this is what it is. They wanted Trump to do this, or they were expecting Trump to do this. Wait, not that. Oh, come on.
I will say this, that the bloke in question that we're showing here is it looks like Woody Allen to the point where you should check his hard drive.
God, he does.
How many Trump impersonators can we stack up?
I don't know. But yeah, this guy, inseminated person is pretty fucking... Yeah, it's basically just... It's on the same level, in my opinion, as cum dumpster.
That is legit calling them cum dumpster.
I mean, it's pretty fucking bad.
That's a step worse than just calling them a slam pig.
Pretty much. So this stupid bitch, Jasmine Crockett, who is one of the dumbest people in Congress, also, I mean, everyone's just saying "fuck you" this week, apparently. So yeah, she's mad at Elon, of course.
Visibly dumb.
Directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Fuck off.
Very intelligent. But
to be fair, that might have been her telling the journalist to fuck off as well.
Maybe, but this is very reminiscent to something we saw earlier. See, the problem is you're too stupid. No, the problem is you. You're too stupid.
53% of
she is the smart one
than it's ever been. 70% believe that he's fulfilling his promises, and 45% believe Democrats should be more moderate. What do you take away? I think there's a lot to make of those numbers. What's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway is just like the election. We've got to do better at education. People don't understand, but you will understand when those hospitals in rural America start closing down even more. You will.
What the fuck are you? First of all, you hate rural America. What are you talking about?
Also,
hospitals in rural America shutting down. I have
is there a more left-wing sentence than "we've got to do better at education"?
Oh, that means indoctrination. That's what she means.
No, just the syntax there.
No.
It's like watching Gam Gam fall down the stairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Understand when you don't have your Social Security. You will understand when your Medicaid, your Medicare goes away. You will understand.
As far as I understand, it's Medicaid that got cut. Right? It's not Medicare. I haven't looked into this, guys, so I apologize if I'm wrong. But it looks like it's Medicaid on the chopping block and not Medicare.
To be fair, like it's American medicine. Like you'd be better off, rather than get
the
your
American
disease
medical
treated.
system-
You're better off walking into the woods and hope that the bear you fight punches all the
Look,
sickness out of you.
Okay, I'll give you this. American medical system is completely fucked because it is a clear example of a collaboration between the government, or at least powerful government parties, and big corporations to a disgusting degree. American healthcare would not be a fraction as expensive as it is if we didn't give carte blanche control basically to pharmaceutical companies and make it so that basically hospitals can charge you for exorbitant prices for every single fucking little thing because they're so used to billing insurance companies, and the insurance companies, well, they don't audit it, so they don't, really look at how much the aspirin costs, that it's a $20 a pill or something ridiculous. So that, yeah, there are real big problems with the American medical system. Let's not lie about that. But shutting down hospitals in rural America, lady, those are all white people. I thought you'd be ecstatic about that. There are issues with the system, but also just going to just installing socialized healthcare would not work either. You do not have the infrastructure in America, a cohesive society that in any way could have some kind of giant social welfare system. Oh, and by the way, if you like to see a doctor promptly, don't want to live in any system with socialized-esque medicine, because you're not going to see one. You might have to pay an arm and a leg to see one in America, but at least you can see one.
As planes continue to fall out of the sky, soon you will understand why.
Planes were falling out of the sky during the Biden-Obama administration, same thing. During the Biden administration, that was a whole big issue, remember? Planes were literally falling out of the sky?
Phenotype.
Yeah,
It's important
Bitch, I didn't
to
even
maybe
know
have somebody that isn't loud and ridiculous, and maybe Sleepy Joe is what we wanted because we could at least sleep at night.
Yeah. Yeah, I slept very well with Joe Biden on the nuclear codes. Anywho, a couple other things to get to before we head out is that Zelensky's been cucked. There was this really funny article from about a week ago. I just want to read the headline. Donald Trump demands Volodymyr Zelensky hold Ukraine elections. Wait, is this the actual one? I see the name of it. Oh, yes, Zelensky could fall as price of peace.
Yeah, the person who said we'll have an election when you pay for it.
Yep. Is that he's been in far past his term. There's not been an election in Ukraine. Basically, what Zelensky has said is, fuck you, give me more money.
No. I want to go back down, and I want a real nice zoom on that awkward handshake with fucking Erdogan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I've never seen Erdogan mog someone so heavily. Look at how uncomfortable Zelensky is.
So
Erdogan's like looming over him.
Yeah.
Also, how the fuck do you manage to be shorter than fucking
Erdogan,
Tayyip Erdogan?
I guess he's pretty tall.
He's not. He's Turk. They're all weirdly short.
So whatever. He was talking, and then Trump called him a dictator because he is. He's not elected. He said, "Think of it, a modestly successful." That is being very polite. Mr. President. Volodymyr Zelensky talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. That's true. The Ukraine has never had a snowball's chance in hell against Russia without massive foreign support.
Yes.
They just do not have the infrastructure for it, and they don't have the population for it.
Ooh, fuck! Something just kicked off.
Huh?
Romanian ultranationalist Călin Georgescu just got arrested.
Hmm?
And apparently a couple months ago, he won the Romanian elections, and the EU stepped in and struck down the result.
Oh, holy shit.
So Romania might be getting cooed by the fucking EU.
Holy fuck. Pray for V, I guess. I don't know. Jesus. The U.S. has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed, while the United States will get nothing back. Why didn't Sleepy Joe demand equalization? In that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us. We have a big, beautiful ocean of separation. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half the money we sent to him is missing. Yeah, this is a big part of it. He says he got, I forget the number. You said it was like half of this is what Trump says. So where'd the fucking money go? Now, here's the thing. I absolutely believe that everyone passing this money to Ukraine lined their pockets with it along the way, and so he probably did get half. he has not. They've not done anything to try and settle the war, which is supposed to be the coming to some kind of peaceful conclusion. Because Zelensky is a dictator. He refuses to have elections. Is very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he's good at is playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections, Zelensky better move fast, or he's not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating to end the war with Russia, something all admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do. Biden never tried. He certainly didn't. So Biden didn't do anything besides eat ice cream and shit himself. So whatever. But Zelensky clearly has gotten too into his method acting role and decided to talk some shit back, forgetting that he's a fucking puppet. So,
talk about 4%. We understand that this information is coming from Russia. We understand that. And we have total evidence for that. All those numbers were discussed.
But the point is, it's the thing on the Chiron. He said that Trump lives in a disinformation bubble. How'd that work out for you, Zell? You're begging like a dog. I hope this Wall Street Journal article works, because it did earlier. Trump says he'll meet Friday with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, agrees to mineral rights deal with the U.S. Looks like he's bending the knee. Originally, he was asking, to be fair, in a bunch of payback from the mineral resources, but I think now he's just asking for profit from it instead of a back pay. But I'm not sure exactly about the deal. But certainly sounds like, it also looks like they're trying to come to some peace with Russia of some sort. So, yeah, get fucked, Zelensky. Your scene is over. Take a bow. The other thing that's related to that is it looks like science is back as well. So now that Trump has banished the woke from science, the truth-telling new scientific papers are revealing what COVID vaccines actually do to children. And we don't have time to go over this, but I would suggest this article. And I haven't had time to vet all of the information in this article either, which is the reason why I don't want to put too much on it, but I've certainly seen some evidence coming out of it. They do have the citations here. I'll have to look through them. But we're talking about, and I've been talking about this since the beginning, you can't do these kinds of medical experiments on people. You just can't. You can't just roll something out from identification of a novel virus to the development and full rollout of a vaccine in a year. That is not how medical science works. You have no time to do proper testing. And of course, now this is my question here, and this is a big one, is the reason why we're talking about COVID again, we're talking about these new problems, is it because Trump's back in power and they're going to blame it on him? Remember
Even
Operation
though
Warp
the
Speed?
previous,
Remember?
yeah.
Right. Remember Operation Warp Speed? I think that's what they're gonna do. Because also this just the other day, distressing COVID vaccine syndrome, something to look out for. Could you be suffering and not know it? This was a major study that came out of where was it? It says Ivy League. I think it was.
Trump could instantly BTFO this, by the way, by asking a simple question.
Which is?
Why was Tony Fauci pardoned?
Yeah, good question.
And of what crime was he pardoned? Specifically.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The previously unknown condition dubbed post-vaccination syndrome can persist years after receiving shots made by the likes of Pfizer and Moderna. According to researchers, key signs include persistent brain fog, exercise intolerance, insomnia, and palpitations of fluttering or pounding of the heart. Numbness, tinnitus, or humming in the ears, headaches, dizziness, feeling a burning sensation are other symptoms. Flu-like symptoms as well. Oh yeah, Yale. So, I mean, all of a sudden, we're, I guess, allowed to talk about this. But speaking of, guess who also isn't following fucking orders? The CDC!
I'm kind of curious as to what the response will be to this, because from what I can tell, Trump is willing to fire anyone who is looking at him wrong, and if I were you and I wanted to keep my positions, I would probably do what he says.
Because they want the severance pay.
Or that, yeah, maybe.
Basically, Trump told the CDC they had to stop fucking working with the World Health Organization, and they just said, nah, fuck it, and began a week-long meeting in London on Monday with leaders from both the CDC and the FDA. They were not supposed to be working with the WHO anymore. They did it anyway. Well, it looks like people are getting fucking fired, so we'll see. And I knew I want to bring this up, and it's sad. I've got some. I was trying to find something funnier to end with, but I know what to end with. Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Dawn in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was also on Gossip Girl, which I never saw, and of course she was the titular or the eponymous Harriet in Harriet the Spy. She passed away at 39, and I'm a really big fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, she did not look good. Apparently she needed a liver transplant. You can see she's got some jaundice there, it looks like. I don't know what was wrong. She was only 39 though. And I don't know what happened. They say it was natural causes, but she did have a liver transplant. She did not look good. And I did hate the character she played in Buffy, but I mean, that's really fucked up. And the fact that it's just died, 39. Sad. We are very late. So I thought something would be, let's just end on some fun stuff. Bye-bye, Kathleen Kennedy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah, but we already sort of talked about that. She's gone, but she's still saying she's gonna fuck around with Star Wars. I mean, like, you already, you trashed this franchise. You trashed the IP entirely. But, okay, whatever.
It's less a dismissal and more like she somehow crawled out of the burning wreckage of everything she even touched marginally.
Yeah, here's the Trevor Noah.
Name a Lucasfilm IP that remains.
No, you can say that for next week.
Yeah, okay, we'll say that. Okay, yeah, that's true because it's quite long. The Asmongold. What did Asmongold have to say about GG that you sent me?
Somebody else sent me that.
Oh, okay, I didn't have time to look at it.
Oh, it's because of the whole Gamergate thing. I'm going to discuss that tomorrow with Vex.
Oh, okay. And then you asked Grok, what cultural critique would you employ to persuade women to give up their rights to vote? You said Grok had a good answer. Imagine a cultural critique rooted in the idea that modern democracy, with its obsession over individual rights, has eroded something deeper, communal harmony, and the natural division of labor that once held society. Oh, see, wow, okay, this is pretty decent. Seems to be decent response.
Yeah, that's
from
actually
Grok.
pretty good. I kind of want to do a video on that. Like, AI solves the woman problem.
Dev is spiraling. I just thought, we'd.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of a non-Englishman telling an Englishman how to feel about Englishness, Dev decided to jump on that train right along. Does he just copy everything James Lindsay does?
Listen, he just loves railways that much.
I guess so. Do you just copy everything that James Lindsay does? Because
yeah,
James Lindsay also felt it was appropriate to tell a fucking Englishman what it means to be English, which is, I'm a lib, you're a commie, and I understand it, although really there's very little functional difference, and I understand perfectly well that if England's population is primarily people who do not adhere to English cultural values, then it's no longer England. But what the English cultural values? Oh wait, I have to sign in. Oh my god, it's so annoying to read the thread, because he and Carl went back and forth a little bit here. But it's... What do you mean cultural values? Where do these English cultural values come from? Right?
English people.
Yes.
The heritage of the English, you stupid asshole, Dev. You know what's really funny? He's actually in favor. He's actually in favor of ethnic genocide and imperialism, because he said there's some values that deserve to die out, and he would prefer the English values would be the main one in the world. So you're okay with everyone dying as long as English values are preserved? Dev, you're a stupid moron. Like that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Just switch
so you're in favor of colonialism, basically.
No, he's just in favor of killing everyone who's not him.
Well, as long as he doesn't have to do any work or
have
he would. Values. You have a bunch of sharbos to basically ponce about the place doing all his dirty work.
Yeah, here it is. So Carl responded to him saying, so if everyone is replaced by a Frenchman cosplaying as an Englishman, is it England? I remember at one point Lilith asked you the following hypothetical. If the English were rendered sterile and began raising adopted foreign babies as their own, assuming no adult immigration, would the resulting people hold English values? You said, of course. Well, I mean, sure, but they would lack an essential Englishness, wouldn't they? Yes, thank you. They would literally and materially not be English, only in an aesthetic sense be English. The civilizational chain of continuity would be broken. Dev says they'd lack genetics, but the values are the important thing. If the genetics vanish, but the values carried on, I'd say England still exists. And Scrump responds with just a photo of the monster who killed all those kids. Stabbed those children. And a
children's event.
Really annoying that you
When
can't
it
show
just
this on the
started
screen. It's a
stabbing.
lot funnier.
What?
It's really
I am
annoying
sharing
if
my
you
screen.
don't- No, you're not.
It's not working?
Not
No.
suddenly.
Oh,
I think it's
fuck-
suddenly.
oh my
hung.
god. It's still on that same tweet. I don't know why it's doing this. Is it? It's still on. Dude, every time it's just fucking. I don't know. Discord stocks. Anywho, here is the funny thing I want to end on. Daryl Brooks, motherfuckers, is back. I don't think that it's too bad that there's nobody who could law-splain the internet, but there once was, and they covered this really hilarious trial. And I'm gonna play it that will end on some Daryl Brooks moments. But what Daryl Brooks did certainly is not funny. This was the guy who ran over families and children at the Waukesha Christmas parade. But his court case was at least amusing to watch him get his just desserts because he chose to represent himself and was sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms with more than 700 years in prison. But he is back to, again, represent himself and fight this. Oh, because it was during COVID, and he refused to take the mask off. But it was really late during COVID, or I seem to recall it was fairly late during COVID. But we'll just watch the best of. I've got a best of video. I thought that'd be a great way because it was watching this live was some of the funniest shit when Mercado was covering this. Was
Once
so
again,
fucking
you're
funny.
doing this tactic.
Because
Try to
it's not a tactic,
off
it's
of what
facts.
we're talking
It's facts.
about to some other
It's
reason.
facts. Because I find it hard to believe that
I'm gonna
all
let
of
the
a sudden
state.
nobody hears what I say.
What was the one word, guys? Do you remember what was unbreaded? What was the grounds? He can tell what
Oh,
his
this is the guy where that
grounds.
unbreaded
You ain't got no
shit came from.
grounds.
Let the state make a.
Oh my god. They this is the guy who wrote the unbreaded manifesto, where it the N-word is used. It's like 100 times every page. Was that the same guy or was that a different guy? I think that was a different guy. Was it? Or was
No,
this
so that
the
was
unbreaded
a
dude?
career scholar that did the N-word manifesto.
Oh, okay, this guy, his thing was grounds. You ain't got no grounds for that, Judge. Oh my god.
Oh, you constantly fucking
because I haven't let them
Phoenix
do
Wright
that.
his way
We go
around.
over the top 5 outbursts of defendant Darrell
Yeah.
Brooks.
Yeah. He thought he was in a Phoenix Wright game. It's really funny.
Waukesha Parade tragedy trial. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Okay, I don't care about you, and I hate law and crime, but I just want to watch some moments of Daryl here.
To counter that claim, first of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness, if it's even true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, he doesn't live with any of the other children that he has. He impregnated Erica Patterson.
Okay, this video sucks. I couldn't find, I was thinking about looking for a Mercado sort of compilation, but I couldn't even find one of that. But I just want to show Daryl. Wait, maybe wasn't there a song that was made about the grounds? I forgot the meme. It's been like 2 years. Grounds. Oh, it's just, do you have a grounds compilation? That'll be good. I can just find that. Okay, let's try that one. Oh my god, what is this? Is this like the whole trial? Holy shit, I'm sorry guys. Oh god, it is. It's the whole trial. Damn. There's no compilation of him? That sucks. What the hell? I wanted to at least find the picture of him behind his evidence fort. Sorry, we're almost done. Where he's at one point he's hiding behind the boxes in court, literally hiding from the judge. This is his fort. Yes. Okay.
If the bailiff.
Here it is. Okay, at least this. Here he is.
If the bailiff could confirm, well, he put him on top, he put him on the floor. That's his right. They're not in front of him, but it's by his own conduct that he's done that.
Yeah, he kept wearing.
The record should reflect Mr. Brooks.
I mean, the judge just treated him like a child the entire time. It was crazy.
Maybe he's just spooked because the audio's
Matthew
on
Harris.
Heron's gone to shit and she sounds like a Decepticon.
Yeah, that was a different black guy. That was Matthew Harris, who that was the unbreaded guy.
Muted because he wants to continue to debate with this court about my prior rulings regarding his forfeiture by conduct of his right to present further evidence on his behalf. Need to look at, I'm not sure if you did this or not, would be the language from the amendment from the amended information. on count.
I'm reminded of like the Ghanaian parliament where they like frequently just start throwing hands at the drop of a hat.
Pretty much.
No, I don't want to do that. Oh, you don't. Actually, hold on. 76.
He kept objecting to it because I'm like, brown.
I think they should start.
Oh, and then for a while they had made him shut up because he wouldn't stop talking. They actually had to make him shut up. They had to cut off his mic, and he just had a little sign taped to his jacket that said "objection."
Just one question.
Legit would be like the like prosecutor you'd have to face in like the tutorial of a Phoenix Wright game.
I'm just going through each one. I'm on page 50.
Yeah, this is him building the box for it.
Everything's looking great so far, though.
Okay.
He's building the box for it. He's like peeking from behind it.
Like, okay, I think we should, instead of going for prison, I think we should sentence him to an eternity on a like reality TV show. And the TV show is just him locked in like the archives of like some building somewhere, and he has to try and like build a society within the archive boxes.
But he's gonna be representing himself again. So this is gonna be
He's
amazing.
actually not even presenting himself.
No, I know.
Appears to be yelling at the top of his lungs. I can't decipher what he's yelling.
Oh right, because they had to put him in a different room. Right. He's not in the room with the judge. He has to be put in a different room because he's too fucking obnoxious.
And they can hear him through the wall.
She can hear him through the wall screaming.
Bulletproof wall.
Oh my god. Anyway, so that is something good to look forward to, is we get to see this piece of shit make a fool of himself again in front of the entire world. And that is fun. So, I know we are very late tonight, so thank you guys for staying up with me. I will get to the super chats, and then we will head out. Let's see. Let's see, Cole Summers for 5 says, oh sorry, so first this one. Sorry, Beard for 50MX says, I have heard people point out the same issues with the Fed my whole life. It's the tamest thing that could be done. Talking about the email. Concerned blackmail doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I'm so upset. That doesn't work. Cole Summers for 5 says, I gave a friend this line for the end. Thank you for finally making a meeting an email. Oh, I know, right? They didn't have to go to a meeting. It's just an email. For fuck's sake. Atris Uranus for 5 says, the only reason I would have for not answering the email is there are some red flags, external requests for immediate actions. Yeah, I mean, it's from a .gov official thing, though, but to suggest it's a fish, yeah, that would be the reason, obviously, to avoid that. Deans gave 10 gifted crown memberships. Thank you so much, man. Oh my god, everybody has been so generous tonight. Thank you, guys. Lance, who is member for 21 months, says, I have to say the only major policy point I disagree with Trump on is the issue of trans men in women's sports. As someone with intense contempt for women in general, I actually enjoy seeing them lose to mediocre men. Based.
That is probably
there
one
it
of
is
the
again.
best super chats we've ever gotten, actually.
Yes. Forwards 5 good forwards for 10 says, there it is, more info metal. Let us end on some info metal. Let me find some.
Actually, can I make an alternative request?
Well, that's what Horwitz paid for, so I'm gonna...
Well, we could always go with a hard archive.
What is the hard archive?
I'm sure... Hang on, one of you. Let's go with an upbeat one, shall we?
Well, I'm just gonna play the... I'm gonna play the info metal as we were requested, sir. What, our stream came up here. Let's see. Glenn Beck. Oh no. Oh, what's this? This sounds good. Okay. Yeah. Let's put this on. This one's called...
He is your enemy, period.
Oh my god! Kids Over 5 says the panel should give more respect to Niki Lauda, Australian F1 champion burned alive, and was back in the car 6 weeks later looking like Freddy Krueger. Holy shit, that's crazy. Dean's been a member for 2 months, says the NSA talks like terminally online Redditors. I bet they all are Redditors. So that's why they talk like them. Slosher for 10 Canadian says, I saw a financial video that said the British signed a deal giving their mineral rights in January. If Zelensky's not president, then the UK deal is worth jack and the US deal is legal. Yeah, probably. Alright, let's take this out with some info metal, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all next Wednesday.
You will swear total resistance to you with everything I've got. Disingenuous, fake, false, bookmark, twisted. A defiler, a betrayer, a backstabber, a devil. You will pay. Ugh. Yeah, you think I don't see your face, Gun? You don't think I don't see you? Delta, I see you. You understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that, Delta? You will not bring humanity down.